Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearlessly Authentic. I am Lucky, your host, and I have my guest,
Hey.
Shelley. And we are going to talk about cults tonight. It's just a random, randomly came up in conversation. We were like, yeah, let's do a show on that. Let's cover cults. Why not?
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. So tonight we are streaming to YouTube. We are also on Twitter and we are on Rumble. And of course, there goes the bird. On cue. So I'm gonna see how everybody is doing in our chat. I can see our YouTube chat. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see it on the Twitter. I don't know. Maybe if I search for us over here. We don't usually go on Twitter. So let me see. How are you doing? You know, how are you in your cults and all your cult like behavior? How you doing, Shelly? Are you still there? You're muted. Shelly.
Oh, hi. Forgot
There
I did
you
that.
are.
I was looking for something.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't hear her.
It's just funny you say that because I've actually had a few people tell me I should be a cult leader. I'm like,
you're a cult leader, like purposefully?
yeah, I was like, dude, what?
I'm gonna be right back. I just have to grab. All right. Settle yourself down. Come on.
I'm just listening to Peaches getting yelled at here. That was funny.
Yeah, see. There he is.
Hi, Peaches.
Noisemaker. I'm gonna put him over here on his perch. Hopefully he'll chill out. Steve Cutler will be back with us. He went to go pick up the teenager from work.
Oh.
I think Peaches wants to be our cult leader.
Probably. Yeah, so a little background on that. I used to manage a new age store for a couple of years. So I had a couple of people tell me that they're like, that's just a really weird thing for people to say to me. But I've had like one or two people outside of that have told me the same thing. I don't get it.
Like, that's weird. I don't want to be a cult leader.
I know. I've had people tell me some odd things before. I'm just like, okay.
So, let's check in and see what our chat thinks. What do you guys think of? Are you guys in a cult? Are you guys in a cult? What do you guys think? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a cult? Like, most people, I think, the first thing that comes to mind is like, the religious cults. What one comes to mind? Because there is so many. There's so many different cults if you look back into history, and it's like it's easy to pick out and talk about those ones, right? Like,
well, there was
like, oh yeah, there was like Charles Manson and Jamestown and just
like ones. Everybody thinks of the bad ones, but like there is the Shaker community, which could be considered a cult.
We can be considered a cult.
Yeah. There's no real leader though.
No.
I don't know. But and then there's like the Oneida community, which I think they were the ones that were like no sex at all. So they eventually died out.
A no sex cult. What is that?
Yeah, it's
I don't want to join that one. What?
It's like the complete opposite of what you would think, right? And you know, a night of silverware, it comes from the cult. So
I do know Oneida, New York, because of Oneida silverware. Absolutely. I grew up, like, with that stuff, which I'm sure is toxic in some way.
Not all of it.
I mean, most things are.
True.
Most things are toxic to us.
As far as metals go, I don't think it's too toxic.
I don't know. I am not an expert in silverware toxicity.
Well, as far as metal toxicity goes, it could be a lot worse.
It could always be worse.
It could always be worse. It could be pewter. Pewter's actually pretty bad.
Hi, Kate. Kate said, "Hey there, Lucky Burrito." She said, "Thanks for creating a live stream on a night when Beauty and the Boomer is taking a hot summer night off. The topic is so interesting." Well, thanks, Kate. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the Oz let us know that they weren't going to be doing a stream, so I was like, well, guess what? I guess we're going to have to do something. So we kind of just were like, randomly, like, all right, well, we committed. Like, as soon as I found that out, I'm like, all right, well, we'll do a stream. And then I was like, what are we going to do it on? Like, what is going to be something that we can talk about, and that, well, that we can razz on too, or it's not like a super heavy, crazy topic.
You can say that, like, all these different ideologies are different cults because they all have a leader. They all have charismatic leaders, and they teach an ideology where they are religious about it. Like, they are hardcore religious about their ideology, and no amount of trying to reason with them, like, they're all brainwashed. And, like, there's a lot of different aspects to our culture today that is definitely cult behavior.
Trash. And serious.
And it's from all sides too. You got on the left.
Peaches is giving shout outs. Like, you hear this? Like, I'm saying hi to people in the chat, and he's like giving the shout outs too. Say hi, Snork. Snork. Oh, he's like doing a whole thing, like with his crest and dancing for Snork. Like, you just can't see him. Oh yeah, Snorky. Yeah, we like Snork. Yeah, we do. So he said, I believe that it's not, are you in a cult, but it's really, how many cults are you in?
It is.
We are in a collection of modeled behaviors. For instance, watch a smoker. You can usually see them doing the same. It's true. And that's kind of how, like, I'll let Steve, when he gets back, I'll let him explain why, like, he's been having such a hard time about, like, we're in cults. Like, we are all in a cult. We are in different cults. What cults are you in? Like, it's a thing. It's pretty interesting.
Once upon a time, it would just be a community you were in, but now everything is so divided and so extreme, and it really does have the patterning of a cult, like the charismatic leader, or like, you can't reason with them, they say just ridiculous things.
Lady Alex said, I am a proud, unabashed atheist. All religions are cults and they are poison. Okay. What? Oh my gosh. Snork said, my den mother from Cub Scouts was a former Hitler youth. She was good. What? That's crazy.
That's crazy. Jinx.
God, can we? You have to come
in. Crazy. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, like, and you start examining, it's like, yeah, there definitely are lots of, like, ways that we have cult-like behavior, we have cult of personality, we have, they even made a song about it, like,
Yeah.
I was thinking that
Right.
earlier. Oh my gosh, I have to show you guys because it's hilarious. Let me see. I have to go and find my Twitter. Oh my gosh. I went to search before the show like what a cult is. Oh, here it is. It's right here. Durr. Okay, let me show this because you guys, it's fantastic. It's so fantastic. You guys are gonna love this if you didn't already see it. So apparently we are in a cult. If you are friends with Comrade Misty,
Oh my god.
I did a search. Just like because I saw something like was trending with cults. So I literally just did a regular, Twitter search, like what's going on? Like someone said it's trending, like K-Hive or something. I got totally distracted. I didn't even end up looking up to see what was trending on cults because Comrade Misty came up as a cult. I was like, what? I'm like, what is happening here? So apparently Twitter thinks we are already in a cult. Twitter is like, no, you're already part of one. So just so you guys know, we're already part of a cult according to Twitter. If you follow Misty Winston.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I just had to share that Misty is a cult. Okay. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Twitter says Misty is a cult. Peaches, relax, buddy. Sorry, I want to check in with everybody before we get too far into. Peaches is like feathering me, like he's like shaking himself out, and like all of his little like dusty featheriness is coming like blowing right at me. So if you see me like randomly swatting stuff. Oh, Drew wants to know if we're gonna start one. Snork said that Iceland has called all of its churches cults officially. Yeah, no fucking leader. We don't need a cult leader. We worship peaches, is what Drew says. I don't know about that. I mean, I take care of them. And Peaches is never muted. We don't censor Peaches. We don't censor you. No, we don't. We ask you to be quiet, but that doesn't work. There's no censorship of a parrot. That's a fun fact. You cannot censor the parrot. So Sarah said that Mormons are a cult. I hated being there. I quit and ran like hell. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Mormonism started in New York.
And Oz said, how are we actually defining a cult, and how does it differ from natural human tribe or community? That's a good question, and that brings me into something. Let me pull this up. So I want to bring up like an official description of what they say a cult is. Like what a doctor says a cult is. So they say the characteristics associated with cultic groups. It was revised, and I don't want to try to say their names, but it's right here. I can grab a link if anyone wants the link to. It's just to this article, right, or this page right here. So concerted efforts of influence and control lie at the core of cultic groups, programs, and relationships. Many members, former members, and supporters of cults are not fully aware of the extent to which members may have been manipulated, exploited, even abused. The following list of social, structural, social, psychological, and interpersonal behavior patterns commonly found in cultic environments may be helpful in assessing a particular group or relationship. Compare these patterns to the situation you are in, or in which a family member or friend is currently involved. This list may help you determine if there is a cause for concern Bear in mind that this is a list is not meant to be a cult scale or a definitive checklist to determine if a specific group is a cult. This is not so much a diagnostic instrument as an analytical tool. So yeah, we're not doctors either. So like, you know,
it doesn't have to have it doesn't have to have every single characteristic.
No, but that's what it says there. That's their you know, disclosure of it, that, you know, it's just a diagnostic instrument. It's not, you know, this is not like everything summed into one little like couple paragraphs. So the group displays excessively zealous or unquestioning commitment to its leader, and whether he is alive or dead, regards his belief system, ideology, and practices as the truth as law. Questioning doubt and dissent are discouraged or even punished. Mind-altering practices such as meditation, chanting, speaking in tongues, denunciation sessions, debilitating work routines are used as in excess to suppress doubts around the group and its leader or leaders. See, we can have more than one leader. Peaches is just the top of the leaders. Okay, so whoever holds Peaches is leader. The leadership dictates sometimes in great detail how members must think, act, and feel. For example, members must get permission to date, change jobs, marry leaders, prescribe what types of clothes to wear, where to live, whether or not to have children, how to discipline children, and so forth. The group is elitist, claiming a special, exalted status for itself, its leader, and members. For example, the leader is considered the Messiah, a special being, an avatar, or the group, or the leader is a special mission to save humanity. The group has a polarized us versus them mentality, which may conflict with the wider society. The leader is not accountable to any authorities, unlike, for example, teachers, military commanders, or ministers,
right?
And rabbis of mainstream religious denominations. The group teaches or implies that it's supposedly exalted ends justify whatever means it deems necessary. It may result in members participating in behaviors or activities that they would have considered reprehensible or unethical before joining the group. For example, lying to family or friends or collecting money for bogus charities. So it's like a really, you know, it's a pretty wide range of what, you know, how they defined a cult.
Yeah, so, and it definitely could go for just about everything in our culture right now.
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to like read that before we got into like what you were saying, though, the right to the left, you know, like politically. Yeah. That's why I was like, wait, I want to get this out first.
Yeah. So every single political party is definitely a cult.
Yeah.
Like 100% a cult.
I mean, if I'm reading that and I'm describing something and you're like, oh wait, that sounds like this or that sounds like that, it could be that it's a cult. I mean, like, and that doesn't, the word cult, like, I think it's used as like, it's always got like this negative, like, connotation to it, right? It's like, oh, it's a sex cult, or it's a satanic cult, or it's a religious cult. But like you were saying, they can be positive things. They can be positive. I mean, I wouldn't want. Whoa, that's not positive. That's not positive. The cat is sitting on my lap, and he's sitting with his butt on my lap and his paws on the table, with his paws right at the mouse, like where my hand is. Like he's just sitting like a little person on me, and I think Peaches is jealous. Sorry.
Aw.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. You're playing with the mouse, kitten. He's moving it on me. But you know, like obviously there's positive and negative traits in any of the stuff. But
well, I mean, more times than not, it's going to be negative. Like, positive cults are uncommon. But
well, are we in a Baritonian cult?
Huh?
Are we in a Baritonian cult? Is what Oswissel says. It depends. I mean, I wouldn't want people to not question me. Like, that wouldn't bring us any growth. You know, I wouldn't want to be a cult leader with no one questioning anything. Like, that's completely the opposite of what we're trying to do here. You know, so. Oh my God. And I'm the only one here right now with the bird that's being a jerk.
But look at, okay, so the most obvious of all of them is the people on the left, right?
Well, I think both sides, I think you can see it easily.
Well,
I can see it. The left, I can see Trump derangement syndrome, and I can see the freaking people on the right who were all about, you know, Trump on the opposite side of it. And then there's, you know, the people that followed Bernie and that didn't question him. Think about all the things that Bernie's actually done. If you look at OpenSecrets.org, you can see that Bernie took money from big farm. Like he took money from all these like big tech companies and all these donations from like the military industrial complex, from like Microsoft and shit. Like did we question him? Was anyone screaming while he was on the campaign trail that he's taking big money from these companies? No, we followed him.
I was calling out his position on Israel.
Yeah, but a lot of people didn't question things, or there was enough for people to appreciate that they ignored that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
we literally, I think that it's all around us. I think that we have to examine it, like, by taking a step back and going, oh shit, yeah, like we were part of that.
Yeah.
We were part of that. There was a cult of Bernie, and there still is. That's why people are stuck on that. Yeah. There's people that are still stuck on on the boops. You know, we are on Twitter and on YouTube, so we have to be careful. But that's cult-like behavior.
Oh yeah,
just accepting that and unquestioningly accepting that behavior.
And Fauci was the head of that cult.
Yes,
and still is to a degree.
Well, him and all the other, you know, like he was just the face of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
so be careful. Yeah, be careful with what we say, because we are.
Oh yeah,
we're on Rumble too. We are on Rumble. If anyone wants to join us over there, also, if you guys want to, you know, go over there, you can. We are on Twitter's live too. But yeah, I mean, like we think about it, it's like it's insane, because we really are, in a way, like we're all in these overlapping cults, and we may not realize it, and we may not at the time want to accept it. Like, if people would have said, oh, you're in a Bernie cult, or you're in a blah blah blah, you know, it's like you have that immediate response of like, no, I would know if I was in a cult. I know what a cult is.
Well, everybody thinks they know what a cult is, but we think of it as or in general, we think of it as you know, Charles Manson, or who else?
Because there's just different sectors of a cult, right? Like, it's like there's subcategories. It's like one topic, you know, but then there's like it just goes off into
it's always like the mass murdering cults everybody automatically goes to.
Yep. Yeah. Like where they drank the Kool-Aid, and, you know, like, you know, Trump derangement syndrome, and, you know, like there's all these major things that we recognize, but do we see the smaller things that we don't like? Like who we don't question? When we don't question people and we just follow them and follow their every word.
You mean like Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, even like, you know, YouTube commentators, You know, there's people
Yep.
that will like follow them and then just like, no, they're right. I don't want, you know, like I don't want anybody to just take my opinion and replace it with theirs. I want to have like the actual discourse and the real conversation about things, because I don't claim to know everything remotely, you know, and I'm all my opinion is ever evolving and changing. So I'm of the person where I'm like, I want to evolve and learn more information and dive deep and research and learn more always. And I feel like when you close your mind and if you follow just like one person and just be like, yeah, they're just, you know, they're all knowing, you know, that's like, and when you emerge into that, you're in that cult like behavior. And I want to avoid that.
Yeah, there is definitely some culty podcasters in the independent sphere.
Well, in every sphere, you know, like you have everything from like freaking Alex Jones to
Yeah.
like, you know, Jimmy Dore. You have like
Yep.
everyone in between and all the personalities and everything like that. And then these different, and like K-Hive, like we have the vice president has her own little cult.
Wait, what?
K-Hive, Kamala Harris.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like so, like it's everywhere. You say something wrong about her, wrong speak about her, wrong.
Oh my
thought,
god, it's
you
so
know,
bad.
They will come at you. So it's like people don't realize, and then we forget about these things. Like, yeah, like you were saying,
Well,
Elon Musk. It's the same thing.
As far as like, you know, the cult checklist, so to say, the left definitely has more obvious.
Can you get her to get him?
They're more obvious about it. Like you just like nothing they may say makes sense, and it's just like you can't question anything. They can't even question within their own community, or else they're ousted. They have quote unquote charismatic leaders or faces, public faces of it. Like, and they're all nuts. They're all fucking nuts. All the public faces are nuts.
You can't talk to like the other person. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Step up. No, you don't get to bark and be loud. Like I'm telling everybody, we don't censor Peaches, but man, he's full of it.
I mean, the right definitely has their problems too. Like you got
not gonna hold him.
Trump. You got the Trumpers, the MAGA people. You got the neocon crowd, you know, the pro-military neocon crowd, and then you got you got the two-way.
Well, like, there's music cults. There's cults of music.
Yeah, but like it's really obvious in the political sphere, I think.
Well, it's most obvious probably to us too, because we're in that sphere and we see it, and we're trying to dismantle and like break that down constantly, and like, you know, how we see this behavior. You know, you see behavior on Twitter and on Facebook. It's everywhere. It
has a lot of influence on culture, and vice versa, though. So you can't really disconnect the two.
Oh, no, I'm not saying they're disconnected. I'm saying, though, that because we are in the middle of that, we see that, you know, like right around us.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. There's a lot of it. Like Steve was talking about his personal experience about how he realized just recently, like, we're in freaking cults. We are in cults. And he just got back, so he'll come over and I'll let him explain it himself. But yeah, like it's pretty crazy though when you start thinking about it, and you're like, wait a minute, let me dissect this a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want your head to spin around that too much, because like it's an infinite spiral to go down that path. It's like trying to figure out the concept of infinity, which I do not recommend, because it will make you go mad. And I've actually heard some scientists say that before, so it makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
So I found one other thing that I wanted to show. Let me pull it up on screen. So this is a cult handout, a PDF. Oh yeah, and I'll put those links in for us. Let me grab that. This is the one I'm showing right now, and I'll put the other link in there too in a second. Is this the right one?
Oh my god.
It's hot. And this is the first one that I showed. Will that show up? I don't know if that will work. I think so. So this is a handout that says what makes a cult. And it's from an International Occultic Studies Association. So, people that know more about this than probably we do. What makes it a cult? The answer depends on how you define the word and whom you are talking. For purposes of liberal religious examination, this is our working a definition of a cult. A religion or sect generally considered to be extremist or false under the guidance of an authoritarian, charismatic leader to whom members exhibit fixed, even religious veneration. I couldn't say it. Like my dyslexia just got to me. I'm just like the words just jumbled. Like some words, like I'm just be like, yeah. Well,
sometimes I have problems saying words, so
I appreciate it.
You know that.
Words are hard.
Steve's here.
We're helping each other out. Oh my god, I wish this dog would stop barking.
First it's Peaches. See, we are in a cult of our animals.
Animal cult.
So this one goes over to, it says we always have one charismatic leader, the group, sole authority on truth. Only the leader decides or has the right to approve all policies and practices. So like that can apply to, some households, right? Like there's somebody that's in charge in your household that can apply.
Definitely.
The way that I grew up, my childhood, my stepdad was the leader. He made the policies and practices, and everyone else was supposed to fall in line. So, and unquestionably committed to the leader. And like that's it's pretty basic stuff. Questioning and doubt and dissent are discouraged or punished. That's a common thing. I question everything. I question everybody. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Otherwise,
we're sorry. You will have to be punished.
I'm going to be punished.
Kinky.
I know, right? I'm like, sex cult comes to mind. I'm like, shit.
I know. How do you have a sex cult and not want to have sex? That's just that's backwards. That's inversion. That's I don't know.
Yeah, there's some oddballs.
I think ultimately, I just came to the realization that being a full blown deadhead fucking hippie freak since 1983.
Oh, okay, here, let me take this off so you can explain this.
Has absolutely shown me that I
Steve
am a member of a cult. I'm a full on card carrying, Grateful Dead family loving, supporting, fucking don't question any of their motives because it's just
Deadheads are a big cult, man.
It's just music, man.
But that I was waiting to bring that up.
Oh my god.
Like it seems innocuous on the surface, like, oh well, come on, that's just silly or whatever. But it's really not silly, because if you look at the like today's climate of your concert goer, your Dead and Company concert goer, because that's the Grateful Dead these days. That crew of people, and it's multi-generational, are generally and without exception the most liberal, neoliberal, Obama-loving, peace and rainbow fucking unicorn douchebags you've ever met in your life. Spending $500 to take them and their girlfriend to a fucking show where it used to be like, you know what I mean? You could hustle enough fucking handful of mushrooms on Shakedown and get a fucking ticket. You know what I mean? It's like a completely opposite thing. It's like they've embraced the entire yuppie, high income, high earning people. Like those are the people that are there now. It's like all the like the street level kids and stuff that I came up with are now all grown ass adults that forgot where the fuck they came from. So it's like, it's not as innocuous as it seems, because that environment just breeds that sort of fucking like go along to get along attitude. And I see it in the music industry and especially in New England. It's mind boggling. Like people just playing ball with like promoters that have the good festival to play. And it doesn't matter that the band doesn't make any money. They still got to play just to keep their name in the cycle. You know what I mean? It's madness. It's really fucked up. And now I'm just really happy that I'm aware of it, because I'm going to tell every one of the people that are unaware of it that it's a real thing and they should think about it, because it informs the way you do things.
I mean, and so you should elaborate a little bit more what you mean by the great, like what really struck you to make you go, wait, this is a cult? Because we are on YouTube and on Twitter, just so you remember.
There's no like formal leadership, but there's a hierarchy. You know what I mean? There's the band and what the band does and what they represent politically and what they virtue signal politically. Like there's another prime example of it. Like after the Roe v. Wade thing, the next show that they played, Bobby comes out and opens up with "Women Are Smarter" with the big feminist steal your face and imagery
after
and stuff
Roe
to
v.
go along
Wade.
after the Roe v. Wade thing. And it's like, okay, I don't know, man. It just seems so hollow. It's just fucking, where the fuck were you when there were fucking mandates? You were telling everybody to get vaccinated. So fuck off. You know what I mean? That idea of going along to get along. So
questioning it.
Everybody keeps making money. And that is the fucking machine. And that's like the ethos of the Grateful Dead thing. Like, even though they try to pretend like, oh no, they gave free concerts and stuff, like, no, they're opportunistic. They were like the largest grossing band in the fucking late 80s, and through the mid 90s until Jerry died, they were still the top of the fucking heap. So like they made millions and millions and millions and millions. And now Bob has gone since 1998 and reinvented it several times. I mean, and how many, making millions and millions and millions and more and buying more fucking homes. And
how many houses do they have?
It's like
they're living a life that's completely different than what has always been portrayed and what Jerry always talked about and everything else. Like it's like it. Oh my gosh!
But traditionally, they try to keep politics out of their music, right, and not really get behind anything. They weren't down with war or whatever, but they, you know what I mean? They weren't that vocal about it and never have been. So now suddenly, because Neil Young, says Joe Rogan's a douchebag, that we have to like pretend with all of these pretentious fucking rock stars, dude, and movie stars that they're the voice of reason. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm so sick of listening to fucking Mr. Sulu on Twitter telling me how we have to fight off the fucking hordes of fucking Mordor. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're talking in Tolkien fucking riddles at this point. Like, shut the fuck up. Like get a real grasp on reality. You're just like completely backwards.
Baba's got it right here too. Like, my mother is part of the mainstream media cult.
Yes. There is another prime example, and that's what I mean by the Grateful Dead being a cult, because it went from being an underground sort of cliquey sort of government psyop-y sort of thing, like a happenstance, a coincidence that LSD just happened to pop up at CIA
Every single
experience, and
concert.
Ken Kesey happened to fucking have the Grateful Dead at their house,
And we
at their
love
parties.
the Dead.
Yeah.
And all
Like,
these,
we
all
love
these
them.
all of these
Oh my
coincidences.
God.
But we're aware of it.
When my brother was alive, I used to rag on him all the time because he forced me into like listening to the Grateful Dead,
Mhm.
and I'm like, no, I don't like it. No, it all sounds like every single concert sounds the same. You don't have to keep on like trying to tell me.
But that's
But,
the thing though, is like if you don't experience it at the show, you know what I mean? It's a whole different. It's like it's fucking twisted.
Yeah,
There's,
but
there's
anyway,
a mass hypnosis going on at Grateful Dead shows.
yeah, well, yeah, my brother was like part of that cult, so I grew like I've been in it my whole life,
Yep.
like
So
like
know.
on
And
the outside.
you grew up in a very Deadhead rich environment.
I mean, but it's
Yes.
not just the
Oh my God.
Grateful
Where you're
Dead.
from.
And there's a lot of hippies.
everywhere.
There were a
It's
lot of
everywhere.
hippies around Oneana and stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, what was he saying? Oh, I used to rag on him all the time. I tell him that the Grateful Dead was CIA psyop.
Yeah, dude.
They are.
He'd be
They
like,
are.
"No,
We have
they're
figured
not,
this
they're
out. They
not."
really are.
They
And it sucks.
The
that,
problem,
you know-
No,
is
no.
you can't
Oh.
prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're not.
Okay, so here's the best part of it though.
Sorry,
He was making-
Deadheads. We're also heads, but we recognize that we're in the Deadhead
I've been
cult.
listening to this music my whole life.
Wait, hold on. This is the best part of the story. He was my conspiracy buddy. Like that's what we bonded over.
That's
really-
great. I
That's
love it.
awesome.
He-
that-
But he refused to believe that one.
It's hard to,
Watch, you're gonna be haunted by him now. He's gonna be messing with you. You're gonna be like, God damn, okay. You know,
trust. It took me. I'm 54 years old. It took me a long time to get here to realize all of the indoctrination, all of the constant like community around me cheering it on. You know what I mean? Everybody like, oh, you're going to those shows, and everybody's so psyched, and it's a giant psychedelic carnival, and it's the funnest thing on the planet. But when you're in it, you're having the most fun you can have. You're fucking raging. You just don't give a fuck because you're not connected to the actual plane of reality of things going on, other than your day-to-day interactions with straight people.
So that's the difference between like me listening to it and never having gone to a show, and my brother being totally immersed in it, because you gotta be on like several different types of drugs to enjoy that music.
No, you don't. That's just silly.
Steve sings the Dead all the time, and you're in the chat. So
I'm kidding.
I'm like,
But that's the stereotypical.
hang on. I just want to interrupt real quick because Drew's son said that he told them his son, whose birthday it is today, that we said hi, and he said we're all fake people.
Well,
Drew.
Drew's son's got a point.
Happy birthday, Drew's son. We're not fake people. At least I know. I'm real. I'm on camera.
Well, I don't know. I spent a lot of time on that Grateful Dead lot, so I'm not really sure one way or the other. But I feel like I can't comment on it, and I would argue this with any like devout, head who's been going since forever. You know what I mean? If somebody's a 40-year fucking veteran of the Grateful Dead, I would still debate all of these points with them and point out all the things that like point to the fact that yes, this seems to be a social experiment of some sort. You know what I mean? Like, why did they always call it the subculture? Why? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? What is a subculture? A subculture is like less than a culture, so it has that flavor of a 3-letter agency description. That way that they talk about things, how they describe, social situations.
Well, I think punk was actually kind of started that way too.
Absolutely. I think all of those are all of them. All of them.
Or no, wait. I think it
Classic
was
country too.
I think it was co-opted in the beginning. It had an organic start, but it was co-opted in the very beginning.
That's exactly what I think about the Grateful Dead. It was organic. They jammed, you know what I mean? They had a thing. And then the LSD got introduced, and then they got introduced to important key people. And it happened organically, but it was like there seems to be some sort of prompting from outside forces to make it manifest the way that it did.
But then you got like all the people in that music industry that were either former military themselves or had parents in the military, and
yes.
like that's not organic at all.
No. And
like
very
few of them didn't have any connection to the military.
That is the weirdness that's in like the merry prankster circle. You know what I mean? There's people that, you know, flew helicopters for a living and worked in intelligence and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like,
Yeah,
they're a bunch of hippie surfer kids. You know, no. That's not true.
No.
All intellectual fucking high-end fucking brains involved in that. And I
university professors at
Stanford, man. Stanford.
Yeah.
They fucking
that were all like CIA'd up.
Yeah. Yep. CIA'd up. Yo,
Yeah,
shit's all CIA'd up, son.
Like every major university hospital is all CIA'd up.
Yep.
Like I looked into some stuff.
I think Stanford goes back like pretty far too, as far as like, you know, weird experiments and experimental
they have weird
testing and things and stuff, just experiments that went down there and with their professors and with, you know, faculty from that university specifically. Like you read a lot of
there was still like the nuclear studies, like the underground nuclear studies you were doing.
Yep.
There was like the what do I want to say, the psi studies, like the psychic studies and stuff.
Yep.
And I actually used to, when I was in high school, I was really into the paranormal. I still am, but I always have been. But I was really interested in possibly going into like parapsychology. And I followed those Stanford studies like so closely. I read a lot of them. And also the Rutgers is another big one that they did those studies at too.
Yep, that's true. It's you know, I don't think it's just like, you know, coincidence that these things have happened. I don't think it's coincidence that the Grateful Dead kind of was just like this thing that happened with college kids. You know what I mean? Like that's what their base was. That's what allowed them to travel across the country and build this like fucking machine. You know what I mean? Like this touring thing that could support itself and maybe 100 or 200 other people besides. Not to mention all the little spin-off, you know, parking lot fucking entrepreneurship that's going on. And it just seems like all of that just like coalesced into this weird corporate fucking twisted shit from the 80s when I got on the bus till now. It's just like, what the fuck? It has gotten as gross as you know, like we are like, oh, this is going to be fucked up when, you know, in a few years or whatever, you know.
What happened is it went into that classic stage, and when it went into that classic music, it was a nostalgia thing, so they could like really pump the profits up. Yeah.
And that's basically what it is now. That's where it stays. Like, you know what I mean? The price of the concert ticket, like if the band is in charge of putting on a production like that, you know what I mean? And the tickets are still averaging $200 and something a piece. That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Well, look at the cult of capitalism. Like Wes pointed out, that the list describes the capitalism to a T, and it's a cult of money. Exactly. And that's exactly what America means. It means like for the love of money. Like that's
you know,
that's the translation.
Mormonism is actually a cult of capitalism.
Sure.
If you look into it, like they're a cult of business.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of business like that. Like agriculture is based like that a lot of times as well in different countries, where it's like this is the thing and everybody does it, and you have to do it this way, otherwise you can't be in it. Like all these weird fucking clubs and classes of people. It just seems like most people are not willing to, call a spade a spade. It's like, yeah, the Grateful Dead is a band and it's a phenomenon that happened over 50 years and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a fucking cult. It's a cult of personality. It's a cult of music. It's a cult of lifestyle. And
there's political cult. There's those podcaster
every
cults.
Variety,
like, if you don't question
a thing has a cult of people that will follow it.
But, bringing the intelligence thing around to current day, like, I think everything is just all social engineering.
Yeah, it feels like it.
It's all social engineering. Like, almost nothing feels organic.
Yeah.
Like, I just think these cults, like these identity politic cults, these right-winger cults, whatever you want to call them,
yep.
They just don't feel organic. Nothing feels organic about it.
No, I mean, look at the QAnon stuff and the whole Trump thing. Like,
yeah, all of it just feels like
Biden,
completely engineered.
The whole Biden thing, Kamala Harris, all these figures, they have these cults around them. It's like,
what's crazy about
it's the same thing, and the same people that are not questioning, that are like, oh, look at over there, look at Biden and Harris and Trump and Trump derangement syndrome. I notice that even those same people who think that they are aware enough to call out that those other people have that cult of personality, that they're doing the same thing. They're not turning it on. They're not critically looking at themselves and saying, wait, do I have any of these traits myself with somebody else that I follow, that you know what I mean, that I like? And that's where it comes into that whole, if you follow Jimmy Dore, it becomes like this whole thing. And it's like, just because you watch somebody's show, that doesn't automatically mean this whole list of things is true.
Right.
Just because certain people followed Trump doesn't mean this whole list of things are true, or that, if they stood up for this or that doesn't equate to everything else on whatever it is, this invisible list that people associate it with. Right. And it's like, and I notice that people will have that, they'll have those traits, and it's like, they're calling it out for other people, but they're missing it for themselves.
Self-awareness is valuable.
But it's like, I know people who voted for both Trump and Biden that are not in those cults, but
they're in something. They're in some kind of. They're in
just
some
because
sort
they voted
of false belief of it. I mean, unless they support the policies of them, then they are blinded by something. Either mainstream media, there is some sort of. Blinders on, unless you support everything that, and if you support them 100%, then you have to realize, you can't, unless you're being hypocrite. Because if you support Biden 100%, he's a hypocrite nonstop. So that means you're supporting that hypocritical stance if you're not calling out the bullshit. You can't have it both ways.
You have to play in this game. If you don't, you're not a grown up, and you're not being real, and all of those other things. And that's a fucking cult too. That's fucking part of it.
Well, I mean, we talked with Chad Wilson. We had a really long, he ran for president. Shout out to Chad if you're in here. And he was pointing out all the stuff with, we have to be careful on thin ice with YouTube and Twitter, but with the Green Party, the elections, and everything that the Democratic Party is doing right now to the Green Party. But it's like, we can call out that the Democrats are doing that to the Greens, but that doesn't give validity to the Greens that they're just on the up and up.
The Green Party is the cult too.
Yes,
exactly.
That's my point. Is that it's all but people will be like, oh yeah, we'll just vote third party, vote Green, or vote this, and it's like, you don't realize that you're not questioning this next thing when it should be questioned.
Question everything.
We should be questioning everything fully, and ourselves and our own thinking. I try to question and examine, why do I feel the way I do about things? And, is it like, why, where does that, where is that belief based in? And then research, almost like against my own, like I want to know if I believe the truth. I constantly am, I hold my beliefs firm, but I'm open to always questioning that I learned something wrong, or that I can relearn something, or, that something else can be true. And I feel like that's really a hard thing for a lot of people. They don't want, because then once you start believing things and you start going down that rabbit hole of that truth, and you're like, okay, well, that's true, then that leads me to this. And then they like, will stop, and they hit a brick wall, and I don't want to believe any more past that. That's enough for me. Because if I keep going, I'm gonna have to re-question all of this.
Well, it's a defense mechanism.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, it's a
You got the
defense
cat
mechanism for the brain, because like
Mhm.
does
Please,
completely
he's gonna
destroying that's completely destroying somebody's entire worldview that they've had their whole lives.
Right.
It just, it's shattering their reality. It can be traumatizing, and it's just a protective way of the way the brain works. It's not really a conscious thing.
Yeah, it's like a coping mechanism, like
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
then
what,
you got the
if I believe this,
indoctrination.
then I have, yeah, exactly. And and the indoctrination is there. It's like, oh, hang on, Skyla has something to tell us. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, if you're told something against your own beliefs, you're more likely to start believing that harder, because you start thinking of reasons. Like, you start to reason with yourself, oh, why might this actually be true? Just, it's not, I don't want to say.
So you look for reasons to support what you want to believe, even if someone's telling you it's not true, naturally. So she took a lot of psychology classes in high school, college, and so yeah, I guess from a psychological perspective, that makes complete sense. That you're gonna look for ways to support what you believe, to like kind of protect yourself, like keep yourself. It's like armor. It's it's like armor, and I want to believe this, so therefore I have to believe all these other things that lead up to that.
All right, you have to turn my mic way up. Turn yours down a little bit. Okay, is this better, Jilly? Because I know it's uneven, and I haven't really like put on the headphones to figure out what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
My water was cold all day.
I could actually hear you.
You can hear me. Ha ha.
Yeah.
That's because he doesn't bring the mic
Good.
close to him.
All of those insults
not
were
me.
just went unheard.
Oh no.
Baba said, what gets me is my parents are from the hippie counterculture, and they're the biggest brainwashed people I know.
That's the
what
thing.
what
Yep.
hang on. What the CIA do? The hippie culture was a bunch of posers, some authentic, but poser 100%. Well, I don't think everybody fits into any category completely,
No,
like
the hippie thing is prefabricated idea
But
of something too.
there is like I think that people were worn down, and like what we were just saying too about your brain wants to find a reason, like, and
Right.
it's like I think that people just get exhausted and overwhelmed
I think
and
those,
worn out, and like, oh my gosh, like it's just so much to handle. I know it's overwhelming for me to know all the things that I know.
Well, the thing about the hippie culture is it depends on how they became part of the hippie culture, what their background is.
Yep.
Because I had a I had an English teacher in high school. Her name was Miss Moore, and she was actually an anti-war activist from the
Mhm.
60s. And she was really cool. She wore like mini skirts and knee-high boots. She was really cool. But she helped me with my activism in school and stuff. But she was kind of a hippie. But she was involved in the anti-war and civil rights activism before the hippie culture really took a hold. So she never wavered in any kind of like ideal she had. But there's a lot of people that got into the culture through the music and stuff, and they're the ones that tend to be the more shallow ones, the
Mhm.
ones that become the yuppies and stuff.
Yeah. Those are the
But
ones that turn into Dead and Company fans.
but the ones that were like originally anti-war and civil rights activists, those are the ones that usually stick to their guns.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think classifying, people who were activists, I think that's closer to what describes, like, in my idea, what a hippie is someone who doesn't let shit just happen, who tries to stand up for the right thing, maybe be fucking, confidently wrong about something, but at least trying to do something to fucking benefit mankind, right? That's, if you're gonna put a label on me and that's what hippie means, okay, cool. But
Well,
I don't think
but
those
I wanna
parents
just-
and stuff that jumped on the bandwagon with, maybe watching the Monkees in 1968 had a different idea of what it is
I want to
or
point
what it
something out
was.
though.
You know what I mean? There was a pop culture aspect to it.
This isn't just like we can't blame it on any one generation, because that is passed on to generations. Like Skyla, my daughter, she's 18 years old, and she tells me, she's like, I mean, and we talk about things in this house, like we openly talk about we talk about politics and what's going on in world events, current events all the time. Like we live and breathe this, right? And she says, I don't know how some of my friends are just like, picking schools to go off to college when all of this is happening. Like, how are they not aware? So it's not a generational thing. I think it's
I get
indoctrination that you've gotten. It depends on your roots as a family, and just like
how big the guardrails are.
The pressure to fall in line is really heavy. The propaganda has been, it works so well.
Yeah.
And resisting that, I think, is hard for any generation. We can't blame just one generation.
Yeah.
One more thing I was going to mention about the hippie culture is that the hippie culture was created to discredit the anti-war and civil rights activism.
Yes.
So I think
and that's why they were on TV. And that's why the Monkees were the Monkees. And that's why laughing looked the way it did, because LSD was getting around and Hollywood was finding out about it. Through the CIA. It's they put their stamp on pop culture from the minute they killed the fucking president.
And they also labeled the hippies as like being like this like generation of like, oh yeah, well, you're just a hippie. Oh, you want peace? Like, oh gosh, you're anti-war. Oh, you just want to have drugs and smoke weed, and like that's fucking label. And it's like, no, you made it. You gave people permission to put down a generation, and then now we have to look at that and say, all right, well, the government also did that. Like the government pushed that on everybody, making them think that was true, that you were this or you were that, like all these labels. So we need to be careful in how we use them. But I find it in every generation. I can go talk to my neighbors, and what if I bring up something like DARPA? Are they going to know what I'm talking about? Do they know what NATO is?
Yeah.
Like most people, you go up to and ask them, do you know what NATO is? Do you know what, DARPA is? Do you know about, most people aren't aware, and we can't assume that,
They've heard of the CIA because that's been the face. That's the face.
That's always the blame. That's the go-to blame, FBI. Right? Like, I feel like it's always, oh yeah, it's the CIA or it's like, but there's all these other organizations within
Oh
that
yeah.
that people aren't paying attention to. That it's like, yeah, all these other places and all these other agencies are also doing this. And
I mean, it's a
pushing that
web.
propaganda.
Yeah, it's a web, and it's not just in the United States.
Exactly. It's worldwide.
I mean, the CIA was based off of what? MI5, I think.
MI5, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
and whatever was happened before that, you know what I mean? There was royal things way before that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
I mean, it goes back to John Dee.
Yeah, it's a long history.
And then there was the Roman spies and stuff too. So it's not like intelligence is
no, that's an ancient art.
Anything new, but it's such a large part of society now, like on no other level.
They literally, the surveillance state has full control. They can put whatever they want in. They can listen to whatever they want to hear.
Yep.
They have every aspect of our media is controlled, and it's amazing that we can sit here and talk about it together on these platforms.
Interwebs. Yeah.
Interwebs. I'm sure they'll put a stop to it soon enough.
Yeah,
Kate said, I'm a total bloomer, grew up Catholic, fucked my brains out with everyone and groups of people, got involved with the Sri Bank. Oh my God, I can't say that.
Bhagwan Rajneesh.
For years and fuck some more. And yes, I followed Bernie.
I love Kate.
I do too. But like, that's the thing that what I love about the group of people that we have here is that we can all be honest with each other and we don't have to agree. Right. We don't have to. We are perfectly fine with not agreeing, but we just ask,
Well, I think
shut up and agree with us.
I think if you agree with somebody completely, you're brainwashed.
Yeah. I don't agree with Steve all the time.
She never agrees with me. Don't let her fool you into thinking that she agrees with me most of the time. Like that's some kind of given. No fucking way. Let's be real.
What are you talking about?
Everett, back me up.
Stop shedding the cat all over the place. He's like rubbing the cat, and the cat's hair is flying out everywhere, like coming to we have a fan going in the
cat likes it though. He's been sitting here for a while.
Oh God, Guinness is shedding like crazy right now. I'm like pulling just these huge tufts of fur out of her hips because that's where like a lot of her fluff is concentrated. She got a fluffy booty.
Yeah, I got to catch up on this chat. I'm like, oh my God. So go ahead, you guys.
So, to expand maybe a little bit on the Grateful Dead is a cult idea.
Popeye's from the future, by the way.
If Popeye is from the future, I knew he was going to say that. How did I know? He called me and let me know.
Did
he? No, he didn't. But how can you prove it? You can't because he's from the future. So, the Grateful Dead has all the images, like it has all the iconography that you need for a good religion. Has the best fucking hymns probably ever written, besides maybe Beatles songs. I mean, think about it. It's like it's built for speed. This mechanism that is the Grateful Dead and its mythology could easily replace Christianity with a little effort.
Yep.
Are you with me? Are you with me, people? Come on.
Jerry, we don't know what. Hey, you never know.
Oz Whistle had
100 years down the line.
Oz Whistle had a question here. I think that this would be a good thing to
because this
answer.
music isn't going away very soon.
No.
There are literally tens of thousands of fucking cover bands across the land keeping this music alive. So it's like, that's really cool. And it's kind of like the same sort of thing that happened when, John Coltrane passed or Miles or whatever. Like people keep those things, McCoy Tyner trio, you know what I mean? Like they keep those traditions alive, and that's really neat. But the Grateful Dead has like comic book people in it too. So like a graphic novel that goes along with the songbook, you know what I mean? It's like
did you see Oz's question?
For religious purposes.
He said, I defy any human to not belong to some form of tribe. We are instinctive. We are tribal and cannot escape it. The question remains: how do we avoid toxic tribalism? That's a good question. I think
It is a good question, 'cause
questioning each other and everything, and talking openly and honestly the way that we do, at least the way that we try to do here. I think that's the best way to avoid toxic tribalism.
Open lines of communication in a community can keep that tribe functioning. I think that's how you do it.
It's like we have to consciously try to overcome our own biology, because it's in our brain. As part of our brain. We can't just, be like, oh, well, we need to cut this out of society and remove that part of the brain, because it's like we need that to live.
Right. It's all the pieces that are there are pieces that we need. We don't need to augment or change any of those things. We just need to figure out what level of communication helps those things to exist, and for everybody to still function on a good level. And I think that comes with close community and people talking to each other daily and fucking finding out how the other person is doing and so on and so forth. And that constant communication and sharing of information helps create lots of trust and lots of, compassion and empathy for other people. And that's how networks of mutual aid are built, and that's what we fucking need. We need lots more of that. And that's the kind of tribe I want to be a part of.
Yeah, we need to get outside of our bubble and talk to people that we might not ordinarily talk to.
Yeah. I think accepting all the people, no matter what kind of fucking people they are.
Well, SD is going to go hang out with Jared Leto. So is that cool? We're good with that.
All right. Is that okay? Fine with me.
Sorry, I had to interject that.
Yeah, he lives up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he had a whole cult thing, Jared Leto.
Oh, well, he still has it.
Does he still do it? Yeah.
He's
shout out to
still. Yeah,
he's
still. Yeah, his cult is still going strong. He's still a guru.
Shout out to all the gurus keeping it fucking real.
It's not that it went away. It's just that it's been around for a while and it just lost its novelty, so people don't talk about it anymore.
Sure.
But yeah, he's still being weird.
That's trippy.
Yeah, that's a I don't even know how to describe the Jared Leto thing.
Yeah, that was just, But I mean, like it just, it just shows you can even, you become a celebrity and you can have your own cult, or you can join one like Scientology, like Tom Cruise.
I think we should just, we should. I don't want to be the leader or nothing, but I want to.
No,
all of us to be in
I can't take care of myself sometimes.
In our giant internet animal lovers cult of happiness.
Well, I can't remember the exact quote or who said it, but somebody had said something to the effect that with killing our old gods, we have to make the new ones.
Yep.
Like celebrities are the new gods because society became more and more atheistic, or more and more secular.
Yeah. Secular. Oh.
Hey, can I ask everybody who's watching, if you're enjoying, will you hit that like button for us and share it out there? Beauty and the Boomer are not doing a stream tonight, just so everybody is aware. That's why we're filling in on a Saturday, so that we have some content, for people to come in and hang out and stuff, because they're not doing.
It's an excuse to chat.
Yeah.
Shh! Don't tell them; they'll see through our plan.
Well, apparently Guinness wants to get it on chat too.
Hey, Guinness.
They all got something to say.
Guinness, you see any marmots? You see any marmots out there?
And Viking Odin, welcome. I gave you a wrench.
Yeah.
If anyone else doesn't have a wrench, let me
give
know.
them all a wrench. Let them wrench it out together. And one
to give everyone equality here.
One giant garage of greasy people. Sounds fantastic. I'm willing to be in that cult.
Oz Whistle said, "What's the connection between tribalism and personality identity? How do those differ between toxic and benign tribal forms?" Well, geez, Oz.
Jeez, Oz. It's there's a lot of that to unpack there. I think you gotta start with the first part of the person in the tribe and how that person interacts, and if their behavior is one that's always toxic and not able to be offset by some other behaviors by other people or their own, then you have to deal with that in a way that's like mutually beneficial, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm just like trying to be practical about thinking about it. It just seems like if there is a person who is really toxic all the time, then that can easily lead to more toxicity in your tribe as they interact.
Yeah, you need to.
But then again,
you need to have everyone needs to hold not everyone needs to not have that worship of anybody in that same way. You need to have it where there's open communication, where there's honesty, where you can question each other with and have a disagreement and come to the understanding. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, we can agree to disagree or whatever, but you have to have it where people actually want to do that. And that in a healthy tribe, you're going to have people that I think self-examine and that will take the criticism or feedback or however you want to call it of others. I feel like that's important, and it's important to support the people within that tribe. But if you're not, if you're doing it in a cultish way where nobody can question you, where where you go off the rails and you behave in certain ways, you're not gonna fit within a larger tribe of people. Like you're not gonna fit within them and grow with them. You're gonna end up causing problems within the tribe if you don't have that. I don't know. I guess if you don't have personality where you can self-examine and take feedback from others and
there's too many variables. I don't know.
Be authentic with who you are. I mean,
if everybody tries to keep it as real as possible, then I think you can maybe control it a little. But I think those things are inevitabilities, like, and have to be dealt with as they happen, I guess. I don't know how you can be preventive about that other than just making sure to keep those people from being the ones that are the most admired and followed. Which is usually fairly difficult because enigmatic people are cool.
Kate said sometimes she goes over to Tom Hartman's chat and there's a cult. DNC is their leader.
Yeah, sadly, Tom.
That's scary.
Tom spent a long time in a cult, an actual cult, and then
he did.
And then he got out and he was aware of it and everything, and then he's supplemented one cult for another.
Yeah.
And
what was the first cult he
unaware.
was in? What was the cult he was in?
Was it in the movies?
I think it was the Moonies.
The
It was
Moonies.
one
That
of the
sounds
older
really
ones.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was in an actual real cult. He wrote a book about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got a couple books about it, how to deprogram people and so on.
No, we got one of his books.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
It was a book on Trump.
Yes.
I'm sure that Kate is probably going to tell us in the chat if she's still in here. I bet you she knows the name of the book. But yeah, Tom Hartman wrote one about Trump and the cult of Trump. But he's in one himself, and that's what I'm talking about. People can like be in them
And be completely unaware.
and unaware that they're in one and that they're talking about another one.
I stopped paying attention to Tom Hartman like over a decade ago, so I don't know any of this.
Let me see if I can.
Well, I do vaguely remember hearing something about the cult stuff now.
Yeah, I don't know how I came up with him. Where this was a few years ago, I think. Yeah, here it is. Let's see.
Well, so much has happened over the past 2.5 years.
Yeah. The money is always the incentive. It seems like, oh, this person could be smart enough to know this. They have, Dr. Wolf on 5 times and blah, 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 and understands economics and how the shit works. But no, they're like, no, I can't fully understand you, Dr. Wolf, so I can still keep making money off my books and my things. And
But that's
just
the
that-
thing,
it's-
is that
it's
not
that
even all of
mentality.
those people that we like look up to, like, because they're it's crazy, because it's like we believe the people, right? So like, you believe them, and then at the same time you realize later on sometimes, that they haven't evolved with their own process. Like, they stopped evolving. And when you look at somebody like Tom Hartman, and like, his income is based upon his cult ideology, that framework. That's what his entire career is based upon. Is that so? For him to change, that would for him to actually come to have a come to Jesus moment, or whatever you want to call it, and realize that he's in a cult too. He would have to then accept that, and then also accept that his life's work is based upon the same thing, and that he really still is in a cult.
Yeah, that's a lot. Like, I could see, you're in a cult for a while, and then you get out and you're like, okay, that sucked. I was in a cult for a while. But then to not realize that you're in another cult, and then have that fucking realization, I don't know if you could do two in a lifetime.
I mean,
Well,
he was in a cult. Like, he was in one.
I was watching, Democracy Now! With, Tom Hartman and Amy Goodman in the 2000s for their anti-war reporting.
Yep.
For the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War. And it seems like, yeah, like, they actually did good anti-war work. And as soon as Obama was put into office, it seemed they just went off the rails. And like, after that, I was like, they're,
because they got their orders. You know what I mean? They're
yeah.
Like, this is how it is, and fuck off if you don't like it. Amy said, "All right, well, it's fine."
Yeah, and the ACA was.
I'm trying to
was
find a book, but I'm not finding it off the top of.
The ACA was a bait and switch. It was supposed to be national health care.
Yep.
Or it was supposed to at least have single payer health care in it. And it ended up being a boondoggle for all these industries, medically related industries. And even after it was passed and all the stuff that came out, they still supported it. And I'm like, how were they for national health care before? And after this is passed and all the stuff comes out, you're still supporting it.
Right.
Because it's nothing like we were told it was going to be.
This is not any of the things that you said before. Yes.
Yeah. And they're still supporting it. I was like, no. And that's basically about the time that I stopped watching them.
Yeah. It's those kind of moments, though, like that people wake up, and that's like the good thing. Like, you wish everybody could have that moment where they're just like, these people are full of shit. What the fuck? Because it sucks to realize it, but once you do, then you can start evaluating. You can start really actually processing what the fuck is happening. And you can probably battle depression for a couple of years once you do, but it's better to know, I guess.
Yeah, there were some people that I followed, anti-war people during the Bush administration that.
Oh no, it wasn't him that wrote the book. I don't think. Maybe I can't think of it. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right book. I know there was a Tom Hartman book, though. I'm pretty sure.
I'll call my cult the Way of the Willy Wombat. Just offer nudism,
I might be
shrooms,
wrong.
and money.
What?
General meow meow.
What did you just say?
Like, what are you saying?
You should.
Meow Meow said, "I'll call my cult the Way of the Willy Wombat and just offer nudism, shrooms, and money."
Okay.
All right. Where do we have to sign?
Where do I sign up?
Do I take off my clothes now, or what is happening? How do we do this?
Oh yeah. So as I was saying, like there were anti-war voices during the Bush administration I followed that you know, when it was coming out that Obama was drone bombing all these people, they kept quiet. You wouldn't hear anything about it, and they called out George Bush on his drone policy, but they not a fucking peep about Obama,
because they got
like there was a lot of people that became disillusioned on it after Obama went into office.
Wombats would love that cult, and I'm speaking for all the wombats. I don't know, but yeah, that's typical, right? That was the thing that I heard like the most about, the difference between Obama and Bush, so you mean to tell me he's doing exactly the same? Like, for me understanding it at the time, like to understand, okay, so he's just doing exactly what fucking W was doing. It's just exactly the same thing. They're doing exactly the same thing. And then like Trump comes and Biden comes, and they keep doing the same things. They just continue what the other did. You know what I mean? That's how being president works. You keep bombing the people, you keep droning the people.
Trey, right.
You
well,
keep doing the same bullshit. So nothing changes really. You just maintain those policies.
There was the cult of Bush. There was definitely a Bush cult.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, oh god, I really butted heads with people on that one. And then Obama was basically the same thing. Obama is just a neocon in social justice clothing.
Yes.
That's all he was.
Yeah. He was a fucking, I saw, what the fuck was it? Somebody did it. Obama was like dressed as a sheep, but underneath he was like this savage wolf or whatever. I've seen this cartoon. He was like a fucking like a werewolf neocon with fucking missiles and like a jacked up rainbow wolf, just fucking droning the shit.
But he said it so polite, right?
But he was so articulate.
I do have to commend him for that one. He's
Tool fans are a cult.
Yeah,
they are.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, think about like
that,
Marilyn Manson people. Like there are specific people that kind of like music, like that like draw in that cult, that personality of that cult, like just like the Grateful Dead family, like Fish fam. It's like you can't like Fish and the Grateful Dead. Like that was always a thing. Like you weren't allowed to.
Have you guys seen that fucking live show of Lucifer? The Pucifer Man? They're fucking they're pretty amazing and completely twisted stage show and just really avant-garde fucking thing going on, and it's
probably something I could be.
What's his name from Tool, the singer?
Maynard James Keenan.
Yeah.
Wait, did I get that right? Maynard James Keenan.
Maynard. Yep.
Yeah. No, I was wondering if I was switching them, but I think I got it right. I can't remember. Oh my god, that reminds me.
With names. I'm so bad.
The other night, I had a dream about him. This is so funny. So he was like dressed all normally,
salty corn,
and he was just like wearing jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. And I was telling everybody that it was Maynard James Keenan, and nobody would fucking believe me because they're like, "No, he looks normal. That is not him." I don't know why I had that dream.
It's a fine line between cult and culture, Rob Juno.
Viking Odin said, "I'm a fan of Tool, but I could never go to a concert because too many people scare me."
Tool shows are really cool, and they're really a lot more mellow than you'd think. Like I remember, like in the '90s, going, "Ooh, this is a cool band. I'm gonna have to go see these guys." And then everybody I saw that liked them all had like safety pins through their faces and shit, and it was like, okay,
Oh my
It was
gosh.
a lot of fun. Everybody was so fucking chill.
I just had
claw?
We had such a good time.
The claw.
The dark music.
The claw. Do you guys know what this is a reference to? Come on. What's the claw?
The claw chooses who will stay.
Yes.
Yes.
Toy Story.
We have seen that. We are indoctrinated. I've had children.
So
Toy Story.
I just had an epiphany.
Mhm.
Tool is the alternative rock version of the Dead.
Yes, fully. Well, that's kind of what Metallica sort of tried to be. They were like the metalish kind of.
Oh, and Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Weed cultist.
Jane's Addiction was the most like hippie sort of fucking rock thing to come out at that time. You know what I mean? They were the same kind of thing. It's weird that influences on a lot of fucking bands, a lot of different things.
But like as far as like this sheer size of it and the type of crowd it is, like the type of community it is, it's so much like the Dead.
Yeah, I agree. I recognize that like in the 80s with Metallica, going to those shows and seeing all the same kids.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was the same kids at the Dead shows as was at the Metallica shows, you know. It was like,
Well, my brother was a
yeah, like a
metalhead in
freak.
the 80s.
Yeah,
My
me
brother
too.
was a metal, but that's when he started following the Dead around too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like I saw Ozzy, then I saw the Dead the next month.
Oh, that's so funny because my brother went to go see Ozzy Osbourne. He snuck into the concert.
Nice.
Yeah. And
I
he
can't
got
even-
right in front of the stage. I think he took a photo of him.
One day,
The photo got destroyed though, but we had the photo for a long time.
one day I will
lives
tell
on
the
with you.
many times of getting through the fucking gate for free at Dead shows.
Oh yeah, my
and
brother
other
was
shows
pro
for
at
that
that
matter.
shit. Yeah,
Quite a
my brother
few.
was a pro at that.
alleged, you know,
Oh my! So my mom and I drove my
take care, Rob
brother.
Judo.
I did brunch. Bye, Rob. Are you going? Sorry, I'm so far behind on chat, guys. I'm trying to catch
Well,
up.
good night, Rob.
I don't know if I will.
Oh, so I went with my mom to drive my brother up to Albany, Pepsi Arena for a Rat Dog concert. And while he was at the concert, we went to my uncle's house because my uncle lived in Scotia at the time, who, by the way, was also the Ted Kaczynski's brother's neighbor for a little while.
Wow.
Yeah. He was his neighbor when Ted Kaczynski was caught.
Damn.
Yeah, so we went to his house during the concert, and my uncle had a garden. He grew all of his own food and stuff, and gave my mom this gallon bag of oregano, or gave my mom that. So we pick up my brother from the show, and he's fucking ripped, obviously, and my mom throws a bag of oregano to him really quick, and for a split second my brother was the happiest person in the world. It's like, oh my god, Mom, I can't believe it. And he sniffs it. He's like, oh no. It was like one of my best memories of my brother.
That's fantastic. What a good one. Complete setup. Like, oh, here you go. Oh,
Yeah.
all
My
dreams
mom,
come
my
true.
my mom is dying, man.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We're a bunch of smart asses in my family.
That's fantastic. That's what life is. Those beautiful Kodak moments, like
Yeah.
that, you know, we fucking live for those. That's the shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, after Jerry died, he started going to the Rat Dog concerts when they formed.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's funny that you said that. You know, the Fish fans and the Dead fans are like mortal enemies or whatever, because everybody I know that has ever been a Deadhead also listens to the Fish, or listens to Fish, and also follows them around.
It took a long time to get to that point, but like there's like a decade in between. Like, and Fish took off a couple of years. And like when Fish decided to come back and be a touring act again, they had picked up enough like of the older crowd that it just seems like everybody who came out of school from that point on were Fish heads. And like no matter if they were deadheads before that or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just
Look,
all
we're
gets
still talking about this. I'm like
it
so
all-
far behind in the chat.
it
But
all
look at the
gets
comments.
incorporated. It gets homogenized, like the jam scene and the fish and the twiddle and the goose and all these different bands that are just like that make up this incredible amount of fucking people that follow them around, or Widespread Panic and String Cheese Incident and Billy Strings. And
Oh my
Yonder
God,
Mountain
String
String
Cheese
Band.
Incident. I remember
Fucking,
them.
there's so many good bands out there. It's
Yeah,
just
there's still
ridiculous.
I think they played in Oneonta quite a bit in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, you should tell her about
Yeah,
the
String Cheese
person that you
definitely did.
saw today that was talking about DSO and everything.
Oh yeah, no, it was a comment. Somebody on a Dark Star, somebody posted a
Dark
set,
Star Orchestra.
Dark
You have to
Star
say
from
exactly what you're talking
Dark
about.
Star Orchestra,
Because not everyone knows
from
who
the
Dark
other
Star
day
Orchestra
at
is.
Stony Creek Brewery and right down the road from here, and somebody like went off and said they were like the Dark Turd. They were just
They cover the
worst.
Grateful Dead. That's why.
They cover what they do is they recreate Grateful Dead shows. That's that's their whole
You have
that's
to
their
give
whole
context.
gimmick, right? So
Yeah.
they actually use the gear that the Dead used to use. They change it up for show to show, and they have all the different pieces of the puzzle to make the sounds. So they make the sounds, and the players are all good players that all fucking are, badass fucking, some of them musicologist motherfuckers who went to school and are very studied and really good at what they do. And this guy was just on the YouTube just shitting on them like they were the worst thing that ever happened, and how fake they are, and how dare they like do. I'm like, dude, man, like, really? There's like a bazillion people playing this music. Like, if people are doing it with all their fucking might, and they fucking all their good intention, then who the fuck are you to say anything bad about them? That's just bullshit. And
I've seen DSO. I've been to the brewery too there. I've had some crazy experiences there, but that's a whole different thing. But like, I was like, what? I'm like, they're shitting on DSO like that bad? Like
Yeah, that's weird. I know so many people that like them.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're being so cultish about it. Like, you can't even you can't play the same music as
but I likened
as the
it.
Dead.
I likened it to the same thing as like people who are devout, jazz aficionados or bluegrass aficionados.
Purists. They're like
purist
purists.
people only want to hear, this. That's it. That's the only thing that's real, and anything else is just the fucking facsimile, and they don't want any part of it. And I understand that. Okay, fine, if that's how you feel. But just to ridicule and just how mean they were in the comment was just, it was comical. I had to say something back to it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Come on.
I am definitely not a music purist. I have such eclectic taste in music.
Yeah, my thing is, like, I don't care what it is. If you mean it and you're doing it with that much integrity that you mean to do this music,
I mean, like, I'm
then
not
fucking
forcing
God
them
bless you.
to love
I don't
DSO. Like,
don't
I
expect everybody
like
to
them.
it.
Not like I'm like, oh, you have to love them. Like, like,
I
no.
don't expect everybody to love anything. I just expect that, like, you can at least give the person the respect because they're standing up there doing the thing. Are you standing up there doing the thing? Are you doing it better than them? Is it a competition? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Why you can't just like let it be a thing? Like, there's a mountain. You don't have to go knock it down. You have, it's just a mountain. It's just the thing that's there. That's how I feel about music. Like, if you do it with integrity, then that's the most that I could expect from you as a musician. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, you intended it to sound like this, and it does sound like this. And if you make a whole bunch of terrible mistakes and you sing off key and whatever you fucking meant to, and I don't care. Try harder. I'll still listen to you. I'll still support you.
But then there's the fact that so much music is like, I don't know. I don't want to keep on saying CIA because it's not. It's all social engineering. That's
Well,
keep
look
on going
what
back
I
to
mean.
that
The
word.
comment. This is from a little bit ago too, like timestamp. You know what I mean? But it's still, yeah, CIA technically is an active. But like, I mean, come on, they're in all of
Their
it.
footprint is in everything, but ultimately the thing that gets me past that part of it is the fact that everybody that has a computer now can be a producer if they want.
Yeah.
They want to make music, they want to make video, they want to make art, whatever the thing. Just having the medium in front of everybody turns everybody into producers, and that really levels the playing field, because some people learn all these crazy skills that you don't fucking know off the bat, and other people just sit in their fucking room until they're fucking masters at this shit. And those are the next, huge people if they can get the exposure. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just a fucking, you can do it yourself. You can go out in the world, you can book yourself, and you can play every night of the fucking week, and you can get really good and get lots of people who support you, and you can build that scene up, and it takes a few years. But if you do it enough on the big enough circuit, then you can support yourself and support the crew of people you need to do it. And like bands are doing it for the last 50 years. Like the Grateful Dead pretty much built that model, how to do that across the United States and the world for that matter. But now it's like a thing that a small band can do once they reach a certain level of popularity in their region.
Did you see what
They
Popeye
can
said?
step up to the next fucking arena, you know what I mean, as it were. No pun intended, but
Popeye said punk was designed to
That's how
get
it
people from listening to progressive music because kids don't buy expensive sports shoes.
well, yes, and also it's the systematic dumbing down. Progressive music is complex and very difficult to for regular people to listen to,
Yeah, punk music tends to be pretty simple, but I think it
Punk music
depends
is
on
very
the punk
simple.
that you're listening. But there's
a primal thing to it too, like it resonates.
well,
the
there's some punk or kind of quasi punk, genre that has really complex drumming to it.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. No, it's definitely
Yeah, it's not a matter of it not being complex.
But
or
the
anything like
but the
that,
more
but-
popular ones tend to be just very simple and
straight ahead stuff. That four on the
like
floor
the
thing.
Ramones.
Yeah, like compare the Ramones to like Yes, or you know what I mean, Emerson, Lake and Palmer or something. You know what I mean? There's so many changes, intricate, arrangement of a song, or Zappa for that matter. It's just like it, it's fucking crazy how much
And-
arrangement you have to remember. Where a Ramon song is like, you know what I mean? It's four on the floor, it's three chords, and you're done. It's easy. You can anybody can do it, and I think that
Pennywise is great though.
and
Pennywise is
anybody
awesome.
can be in
There's
a
a bunch of other bands that are fucking super technical. That
anybody
have that
can
sound.
be in a cult too. Anybody can be in the cult of whatever music it is. Like we're using this word like overly tonight, and it kind of like brings it down to like a level where it's like it doesn't hit you like a weird thing when you start to examine it in that way about like how it can be a positive or a negative thing, and how. But it depends, I guess, on whether you question things. I think that's the biggest part of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that that the idea that we were just talking about before about the complexity of the music and the simpler music, I think that like transfers to all the genres too. You know what I mean? There's the formulaic way that songs are built. You know what I mean? Because they work.
Well, the
And they have that-
indoctrination that comes from everywhere too, that the people that write the songs, you know what I mean? It depends on how much they have and like how much influence there is that way.
They show that the hypnotism thing, you have to have a song that's like 5 minutes long, but they can get all the good points in 3 minutes, and they can repeat it enough times in your head, then you get the same effect.
Well, plus you go into like music theory with different frequencies and how different frequencies have different effects on you mentally and physically. Like I've been listening to solfeggio tones when I go to bed.
Yep.
And they do have like a really positive effect. But
That's
then
awesome.
there's other chords that like can cause anger, it can cause uncomfortable feelings,
Yep.
can cause sexual feelings, can cause like all these different, and they use those they use those tones in a lot of mass media music.
Yep. They have all this down. They've used the they've figured out our brains to the point
Yeah, it's they
where
got it down to
they use
science.
it
Yes,
against us,
they
and
do.
in all the ways that, you know, like it could be used in positive ways, but because the focus of the government isn't to have us happy and healthy in a society, that's not the purpose with capitalism. But it could be. It could be that like we used those things in a way that were, you know, that were positive, that helped people learn more, that helped people, you know, sleep better and feel better and work together more collectively. But instead it's all focused on the division of us, and it's used, and like it's like the created cults too, because
Yeah.
you think the government doesn't have, you know what I mean, like that they don't create these things, then,
Well, there's
you
all
know.
these foundations and shit like the Rockefeller Foundation and
Lots of money.
yeah, and then you got all these university programs that are also they get private funding from all these independent institutions, these quote unquote philanthropist institutions, to for research that they want done, and then they also get government funding for these same research programs, and they're all in bed together, but it's just a big web of elites trying to control us and try to keep our attention away from the things that are really going on.
And cults is one way that they use that.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
Whether or not they're the head of it or not, they can still create them. They can still create the mind thinking of it. They can make things more popular. They can focus our attention to certain things. They use it as a tool.
well, pop culture was created to as a division or a diversion.
Diversion. Make
Look
everybody
at
diversion.
well, in the 50s, the CIA started funding like pop pop artists and like these abstract artists and postmodern artists. They funded them as a counter to the very rigid formulaic art of the Soviet Union. So like
it was Cold War retaliation in the art world. Totally.
And all that created, you know, pop culture on top of all of the like the foundation backed bands,
right?
You know, from like the Beatles and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember the names of these. You know what foundation? You know, you got the ones in England. I can't remember the names of them.
What were you saying, Steve?
I said that the Beatles. That's another one of those bands.
Yeah,
that, like, have a lot of backing and a lot of different people working towards their ends.
If it's like the most popular, if it's the most popular thing, you really have to examine why is it the most popular.
Yeah.
What outside influence
they had
was
they
there
had it
in that
spades.
popularity that was injected in there artificially, and that because it's all
the Beatles had selling points in spades though, so it was easy. You know what I mean? They looked a certain way. It was the kids loved it, ate it up. You know what I mean? Good songwriting, good singers, good players. It's like they're ready made.
What the hell is that institute in London?
Hyde?
No.
Oh.
It's like behind. It does all the like the cultural stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oxford.
The social engineering one.
There's a whole section of it. Yeah,
it's like called the institute or a foundation or something like that.
Do you guys remember what we're talking about? Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the chat.
I know what it is, but I can't remember the name of
Yes,
it.
I know. They decide all the cultural things and what's
Yeah,
popular.
like
and
basically they were behind the whole pop culture thing.
Yeah.
And then it spread to like this every place that did some kind of social engineering across the sea, either intelligence
I know
agencies
one
or
of you guys gotta
like
know.
or like the Rockefeller Foundations, they all work together.
Yes, I can't
And
remember the name of it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
God.
they could decide that Shelly's dog was the most popular dog ever, and they could make Guinness like just absolutely so popular and like take like you suddenly like videos and pictures of Guinness would just be like the thing. You know what I mean? Like they decide what is popular and what's not, and they can steer
Yeah.
all of us so easily that way, so easily. Think about like when a band becomes like popular, like I remember when I was a kid, it was like the first like real like New Kids on the Block and like Debbie Gibson and Paula Abdul. When I was a kid, it was like they were like, oh my gosh. And I remember an MC Hammer, and like I remember like people just really having the um the craze over these people, when I was a baby, Cabbage Patch Kids, when I was little, like there's always like Tickle Me Elmo, like there's, you can look back and you can probably find that it was an outward influence of that and who made the money off of it. Like it's crazy how easily
Tabstock.
Tapstock.
Yeah. Just remembered it. Tabstock Institute. They're the ones that do like all the social engineering like laboratories basically all over the place in conjunction with like other institutes.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And then those guys are working with the government, and it's like, yeah, they're all butt buddies.
It's nuts. And it's just nuts how much they can influence, what we have going on.
Well, for a brief moment in time, YouTube, you could become majorly popular and famous with actual talent, and it was organic, but it was so brief. And then they glommed onto that when Google bought it. That was the government buying it, and then it changed from there, and all this vapid stuff became popular, and then YouTube channels started getting censored. That started years and years ago.
Yep. Drew,
Years ago.
We know you have a Tickle Me Elmo. We know this. We have seen this. In fact,
gosh.
there's video evidence of it.
There is. He's so good at
If
it.
you click the add video thing, you could show it.
What are you talking about?
Never mind. The Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, is it on a thing on here?
It's not on a thing, but you could.
Oh, well, we can show that after. Like, we'll show that after. I'm so far behind in the chat. Like, I'm trying to like not miss stuff. I'm trying to like see everybody's chats, but I can't get to all of them. But yeah, let me catch up first.
Naked Tickle Me Elmo.
No, that sounds like it might be scary.
Wait, what happened?
Have you ever seen a Furby with its skin taken off?
Yeah, they're weird.
Robot parts. Yeah, they're so creepy.
They are super creepy. I had a dog. My dog like shredded the outside of a Furby that I had. Yeah, those things are so weird. I mean, and that was a Furby back, like not a modern Furby. when did they come out? It was like the 90s.
Yeah, right? They came out in the 90s. And then there was the skinless Teddy Ruxpin. Ruxpin. Yeah, those were just the robotic parts are pretty scary.
Kate had a tiny Thumbelina.
What, Steve?
Kate said she had a tiny Thumbelina.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's what it said.
When I was a kid, we went to my mom and I went to church with this family, and the husband was he was a toy designer for a toy factory in Cobleskill, I think. And I was friends with his daughter, and my mom was friends with his wife, and we went over there. And he had a workshop in his garage of all of his prototypes from all of his toys and stuff that he made. He has this big giant toothbrush, like toothbrush display thing. Like, yeah, it was pretty cool. I got samples of like prototype candies, candy toys. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. The more I talk about this stuff, like, the more I realize that I did not have a normal childhood, and I'm pretty sure I already said that, but
You're like, it was definitely not normal. Yeah, no, I don't.
well,
Define normal childhood, because
Yeah,
I know mine wasn't normal. Like, I know not at all, not in the same way. Kind of like in the opposite way, where it was like, I grew up in a household where you didn't question things. You did what you were told. You were to be seen and not heard. And imagine that I grew up in that household and maintained the like, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna, like, no, I'm not.
I gotta mute. There's something going down right now.
Okay.
Woof.
Whoa.
All right. Intensity level at Shelley's has increased exponentially.
I know. Something's going on.
Guinness got a raccoon up in a tree.
I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know. That's what my mind says.
So Little said, "Oh, there's Brana Bros."
Brana bro. Do they just walk around saying bro? Really, Nick?
Well, I mean, like, there's like the cult of AOC. Like, there's definitely that. People don't question her. There's the cult of Bernie.
Calzones are in the oven, ladies and gentlemen. In case you
what are you talking about?
In case you're keeping track, V.S. Adams said the calzones are in the oven.
Oh, I hear. Is that our airplane?
Yep.
I wonder if you guys will be able to hear this.
They'll hit us with the sonic wave shortly.
All right, hang on. Let's see if they can hear it.
Ah.
That sounded more like the helicopter that goes over.
No, that was a plane.
I don't know. It didn't shake the house like it normally does.
I don't know then. It was definitely a plane then. Switched up from pizza this week. All right. Well, calzones are delicious. I will say that right now because I know it to be true.
Yeah, there is like a PayPal. There's definitely a PayPal app. Yeah.
Is there a PayPal app? What?
Elon Musk was tied to PayPal.
Is that new? Elon
Apparently people are just fighting upstairs. I think they were fighting outside too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
I deal with this shit 24/7.
Welcome to Saturday night.
Well, this is like why it took me so long to be like, yeah, I'll come on finally. Because like I hear all this noise at night, and
I wanna know, can anybody pick out Lucky in the thumbnail? Which one was she?
No.
She's in the second from the
No. That is not me.
left.
Oh my God.
Back by the teacher.
I did not. I know I did not do that. I did not salute that way in the thumbnail. Yeah, if you guys see those pictures, they're crazy because like you can see like, let's see. I think I can pull it up.
Can you pull it up?
I think I can. I can pull up the original that I posted. on my Twitter.
You could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the second from the back there. I've seen Clutch little, as a matter of fact, at the Gathering of the Vibes, 1997. I want to say 97.
I have
I
a
am
good friend.
No,
So-
2007. I'm sorry.
I am so far behind in this.
2007. Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I was standing right in front of the guitar player, like about 2 feet away out the edge of the stage, and they fucking rocked. I was like, damn, this is a good band. I didn't really like all their songs that much, but they had really good energy, and they just got the job done. They came out, they didn't fuck around. And I like a band who comes out and doesn't fuck around too much. You know what I mean? Just give it to me.
You know who was a great band live? Is Sabaton.
Oh yeah. You know who is another really great band live? The Prejudices
Yeah.
of the United States of America.
Oh, I bet they are.
Oh my god. So good.
Non-point. I've seen non-point 3 times, and like they just get better every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's that other band? God damn it, I can't think of their name right now.
You hear that?
Yeah, a little bit. What is it?
Sort of.
I don't know. It sounds like it seriously sounds like they're freaking banging on something with a hammer all night.
Hey, Ram is in the house. At least an hour ago. Behind like an hour.
Hey Ram, he came and left like 6 times. He's like, yeah, I'm busy. I'll stop in. I'll pop in and pop out. You guys still talking about cults? All right, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, I got some theories about CERN and Georgia Guidestones, man.
Oh, come on, give it to us. CERN. How did
Well-
CERN affect your guidestones?
So what I think is that CERN was powered up for to connect to like all the colliders in the world, all the accelerators and stuff, and whatever is buried in that time capsule in the Guidestones is what's needed to power CERN into an interdimensional portal.
And
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh,
Come on.
damn it.
Stay on task here.
I'm okay, Steve. Okay. I have to just say, I when I'm on screen, that means I'm running all the whole chat, the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, really?
Everything that's
All
coming
yourself?
up on screen.
By your lonesome?
Yeah, Steve. That's why, like when you're playing music, there's no chats coming up because you're the one in front of the screen. And so you can't do that and talk or play music at the same time. It's a lot of my attention is kind of everywhere. So sometimes I miss something, and that's why I get behind on the chats and stuff like that, is because I'm trying to pay attention to what we're talking about and read the chat, put them up there, and any images or any editing on the screen. I'm doing all of that. Okay, I'm like, so sometimes I need a thing repeated. Doing the best I can here.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Oh no!
I'm gonna smack him on the back of the head. Okay, don't
Do it.
mind that.
Do it.
No, go ahead. Okay, so sorry. What were you saying? Because obviously,
So
I'm sorry, I was adjusting my guidestones, okay? Fuck.
something about the
So-
Guidestones and blowing up.
Yeah,
Don't be so
what I think is
Don't be so
Uh,
stern with me.
so CERN was powered up, like they increased the power of the amount of energy that it uses, and I think they did that to connect with all like the particle colliders and accelerators and stuff around the world. And, like create a kind of like a web, and then whatever is buried in that time capsule under under the guide stones is what's needed is like a finishing piece for the whole web thing. And it's actually going to turn it into an interdimensional portal.
Wait, what's gonna be the place where the guide stones were?
Yeah.
It's gonna be where
No.
the portal is?
Whatever is buried in the time capsule is like the finishing piece that they need to turn it into an
Well, they didn't
interdimensional portal.
They didn't dig it up yet.
Right.
We don't know.
They might have.
They might have
What do you
fucking
think
done that in the middle of the night.
What do you think the chances are it was a
They
direct
destroyed the
energy
stones.
weapon that hit it?
And so some people were saying, I think it was Choosy was saying, and I know he'll pipe in if he's still here and correct me.
Welcome back, Noli D.
I feel like hi Noli. I'm totally distracted. Noli, you distract me. It's all your hotness.
Pretty girls do that.
Knock 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
All right.
Noli,
Twice on
what
the pipe.
happened?
Ding ding.
Everybody's ADD just like turn it to a Tony Orlando special. Like, woo! That was great.
I don't know what I was gonna say now. I
What
totally
was
lost
on my
my mind.
ceiling? He
I
knocked
got-
it.
I got distracted by the Noli.
It knocked 3
Noli.
times and it was on my ceiling. So like, come on, I had to.
That was perfect. This is completely unrehearsed, everyone. As
Yeah, obviously we're totally not scripted like the mainstream media is.
Pretty obvious that we're the complete opposite of scripted.
I know, right?
like people who don't listen come in, they're like, they're still talking about cults and singing Tony Orlando. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, that's okay because I don't know what the fuck is going on in here either.
Little said we are the cult of Marxist marmots.
Marxist Mark. Elle said I wanted that knock to be a ghost. Elle wanted the knock to be a ghost.
Oh,
Because that would
yeah.
have worked out perfectly. Because
God, I'd much rather have ghosts than my neighbors. Like I can handle ghosts. I've been dealing with
Good.
ghosts my whole life. It's totally okay. They're dead. What are they gonna do to me?
right?
Oh, what
We'll
are
have
they
to
do?
do a whole
Scare me?
thing on like that kind of stuff because I've had some experiences. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have had some experiences with spirits and things like that, and you know, complete
Oh,
conversations and.
you ghost loving marmots.
Where is our marmot?
Pikachu. I don't know. What? Still waiting for a ghost to blow me. Aram, you might be waiting a while. Trying to relive that.
Do you
Scene
remember
in
that? Do you
Ghost.
remember that woman in England that married a ghost?
I do recall something about that.
Guinness.
And then
is
she
getting-
she divorced it
Yeah.
because it wasn't paying enough attention to her.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You
Wow.
can't fucking make this shit up.
Needy. She seems needy. I'm just gonna say it.
Unless you're one of those
Unless you're one of those standoffish ghosts, where you just don't really.
how do you marry a ghost?
I'm shy. I'm dead. Okay, leave me alone.
How do they give
I'm over
consent?
here. I'm just a ghost over here. I'm shy.
And then I think I want to say it was Anna Nicole Smith that said that she had ghost sex before.
Yeah.
Do you remember
I think
that?
they call that aliens, though. Like most people just say that was an alien encounter.
No, this was like sex with an actual
joking.
ghost.
But her husband at the time was like 109, so he might have actually been dead.
Maybe
I
he was
think this is-
maybe he was doing astral projection.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is after he died, so like
Oh,
maybe he
after.
did come back.
He came
Maybe
back,
he
yeah.
came back and he couldn't do it in life because he was confined
Right,
to
because he was
wheelchair-
old. Then he's
wheelchair.
like, yeah,
Maybe being a ghost was the only way he could be with her.
that's incredibly weird and erotic at the same time. I like it.
Why does my brain work like this?
I don't know. That's funny though, because like, let's see. it's just odd to think about. Like
he dies and all of a sudden he's like, I got legs again.
yeah, he's like he's all happy because he didn't come back as a newt or whatever. He's like,
Yeah.
Look what Dingo said.
because that would suck. You know what I mean? You come back like, maybe I'm gonna give it to you when I get back. Well, then you come back as a fucking chipmunk or something.
Look
You're
at
like,
this,
fuck.
Steve.
Asshole projection? What?
No, look at the chat.
I'm not looking at the thing because I can't see it. I always feel so embarrassed chatting here with my tool just hanging out.
And then General Meow Meow said, "Don't look at my wrench. That's rude."
Come on, we all got wrenches.
guys like-
Everybody's got one. I don't see what the big deal is.
I know.
about.
I even have one.
I got one too, man.
Everybody got them hanging out.
Let
I
it
mean,
all
you-
hang out.
You don't have to be
Let
weird
your freak
about
let your freak fly flat prop.
it.
let your-
Exactly.
Fuck.
It's like a nudist beach. Everyone's
You
tooled
can
out,
let your
and it's
freak-
not that
freak
big of a
flag
deal
fly, too.
anymore.
It's all good.
That's
Oh my god! I have to tell you guys something. Oh my gosh! So when,
no.
when I was talking to the kids, the neighbors the other day when all that incident happened with the police, she told me that this kid like moaned her like right in front of like just was like super sassy, and she's like, yeah, I had to go down and like talk to his parents or something like that. I couldn't help but laugh. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, oh my god. You mooned her. Like, oh my gosh, of course I was laughing because I'm just and I would be like, what the hell is your problem, kid?
This is a little
I'm like,
kid
well,
in you, man.
I'm like, at least it wasn't like in Seattle or wherever it was just recently where they were doing naked bike riding. They were doing that.
Guinness.
Both of those things. Popeye said I wear socks with sandals, and Elle said I wear socks in bed.
Oh no. You guys are both wrong.
No.
Wrong cult. You guys are in a weird cult.
Hey,
Wait, what was that?
Popeye said he wears socks and sandals, and Elle said she wears socks in bed. And I'm like, okay.
No.
Fine.
No.
No,
Only
exactly.
psychopaths do that.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
I only wear socks in bed like if I'm like probably camping and it's winter time or
I've
something.
been
Like I
wearing
really
Keens
have.
for like
I really need to be
for
wearing
like a
them.
year now.
Well, it's like only psychopaths drink black coffee.
Yeah, see that's.
I drink just cream in my coffee.
Yeah, see, and that's
I don't
a
put
little.
any sugar in there.
She's a little fucking weird, folks. I'm just saying
Just a little bit of cream.
that and the web
drink
feed,
milk in
and
mine,
it's
that's it.
it's a lot. The web
I only
feed
drink milk of mine.
and the cults. It's all. There's a lot to deal with. What?
Jilly said, I don't have anyone to eat. Uh-oh. Jilly, what are you doing? What are you trying to eat somebody?
Wait a second. Has it come to that?
Oh my god. Did you hear about what they were talking about in California with the truckers?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Steve,
What's
tell
going
him
on?
what you were
Well,
telling me
they were
earlier.
trying to pass a law. They're trying to get it through the thing and to make it illegal to be an independent trucker in California.
Like you have to work for a company.
So you have to
or-
work for the corporation. You have to work for another company, like an established company. You can't be your own LLC and own your truck and all of that. So all of those truck
Oh,
drivers
what?
are fixing to fucking move. Like,
Yeah.
like,
They're
like
like,
70
we're
That-
going to move out of
fuck
state.
them.
like 70,000 of them.
Yeah, like they're like,
Yeah,
we're going
that's
to
a
move out of
lot
state,
of
and then we're not
truckers.
delivering. People in California better brace because they just went on holiday for like they're
And-
going on
and they
holiday for 3
already-
months or something.
And they already have they had passed some laws that restricted trucking.
Yeah.
The trucking industry considerably in California. It was like half the reason why stuff was on barges in stuck in California barges
Yes.
because of the trucker issue with the laws that they have. Yeah.
It's
So yeah, I can understand why they're like that. Like I would fucking move too. And the thing is, if you own your own business, if you own your own truck, if you're an independent contractor that way, you can just move.
Yep.
Because there's always going to be no matter where you move, there's always going to be a trucking company that will hire you as an independent contractor because there is such a need for truckers these days. Like I have a handful of friends that do it.
Yeah.
I have for like 25 years.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people who drive over the road. That's like for forever, you know what I mean? 70,000 truckers leave a state like that big. That's gonna fuck shit.
That's gonna collapse California.
That's gonna collapse food lines for sure. That's just crazy to think of. All that agriculture that needs to come out of California to get spread around.
We get the truckers, we get the farmers, we already have the airline pilots. Like they're already like all of them are. They're like, no, we're done. Like,
and you know, we're watching all these protests in other countries, and we're like, why don't we see that here?
Yeah.
Well, it's
and everyone's saying, why don't we see it here?
The thing is, it is happening here. It's just that we're not seeing it because corporate media isn't touching it, and when they do, they demonize it as some alt-right wing shit.
Yeah, they demonize it, and then they tell on you if you're the one, you know, like donating to the truckers, like, you know, you $25 to the truckers, man. Your
PayPal account is gone.
Yeah, we're coming after you.
Yeah,
but everyone else is fine, and it's like, no, we have to break this. We have to break this system. We have to. Like, it's broken us. Like, they're literally poisoning us in every possible direction.
I think we're about to hit the fuck it moment.
It feels like it's culminating, man. It's been I was talking about this the other night. Like, since I'm 19 years old, it's just been getting more and more and faster and faster. And the more you become aware of all the things, you know, you could barely have time to process what you learn from day to day.
Do you see this?
I forget more than I fucking can retain of information of just heinous, the most fucked up things that you could think that man could do to each other. You know what I mean? Those facts just keep, you know, inundating constantly.
You see what Baba Yaga said here? Agenda 2030 is trending. It's the first time I've ever reported on what's trending. I did a tweet earlier that it was trending on Twitter was sudden adult death and Pfizer, and they were trending, and I took a screenshot and like retweeted like that screenshot because I'm like, holy shit, is this what it's finally taken? I mean, we have to be careful where we are talking about this unless we're gonna cut the rumble.
Yeah, because ultimately they're just gonna stomp on everybody.
Hey, I just want to remind everybody, you know, we would appreciate it if you would hit the like button and share the stream out for us. We really, really would appreciate that.
We thank you. And don't forget, after the stream is over in the next, I don't know, 45 minutes maybe, yours truly will be streaming.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a double tonight. So
back to back.
Yeah. After this stream,
some songs.
We're going to go live on Steve Cutler Live, and he's going to do music, and we'll, you know, enjoy that after this. Because that's what we normally do on a Saturday night. But Beauty and the Boomer weren't, Oz is, you know, taking a rest. So much love to Oz LaFave, and we love you and Shonda.
Definitely.
Shonda's got the grandbaby this weekend, so they're both taking a little bit of a break. Much needed, you know, doing a lot of hard work. So we were like, hey, we'll go on and you know, like do a stream. So we wanted to give them a shout out and some love, and we hope they're resting and recharging their batteries.
Just entertain us, bitches.
Yeah.
Here we are now. NATO war against Ukraine. Russia is incredibly toxic, much like Libya.
I saw that, Baba. She said, so Sri Lanka people stormed the prime minister's mansion. They were swimming in the pool. I personally think the elites are taking notes to see how they can, how far they can push people and how far they'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we got started, I was looking at, there was some decent footage.
Oh yeah, they were jumping in the pool and having a good old time.
But you know, that's what happened with Ukraine.
Yep. Exactly.
So what exactly is going on in Sri Lanka?
We always have to look behind, like what they're showing us and then what they're distracting us with.
Because they raided the presidential mansion and everything. And they were doing the same shit. And then they were taking out confidential documents and stuff too. So what is it a cover for?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, shit's bad. Shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
So is it organic? It's so weird. It does have the same similar pattern, but it does feel more organic. It could be my bias, but it does feel a little bit more organic than the Ukraine stuff.
Yeah, so Baba put in here forever ago, but I think I showed it since then. But okay, so it used to be that it was the Nazi salute for the flag. That was how you saluted the flag. But they decided that was a little bit too Nazi after, the whole thing happened, So they changed it and they put, they changed it. So
well, didn't the Nazis get the salute from Americans? Because I think they were doing that in the 30s.
Yeah, they were doing it in the 30s. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
I would have to look at the roots of that. I don't know.
I thought it started in Germany. It was like special forces there that did it. That was like a certain kind of thing. But it caught on across like airmen or something. It was something that pilots did or something.
But the way that kids were saluting the flag, I almost think that was in America. I almost think that was going on in the 30s as well. Yeah. But the Nazis borrowed so much from America.
Yeah.
Oh, squirrel.
We're so ridiculous. Squirrels for Al. I finally caught up to that. Yeah, I'm not caught up at all.
Yeah, I really want to look into Sherman Fairchild because of his father. That was the co-founder of the Binghamton Tabulation Company or whatever. The first CEO of IBM. It was the company that became IBM.
Yep.
And then he went on and he did all this aerial photography stuff. He did all this engineering stuff. He invented a drone. Yeah, I want to know just how involved this family was in the Nazi shit. I don't know if I will be able to find that out, but next week I think I'm going to call around the Oneonta and see if any, maybe the Oneonta Historical Society or something has some information on the family.
Right on. That would be very interesting to know more about.
Yeah. So curious about that one.
Do you follow Ricky Rants? Ricky Rants did a stream last weekend of the protests that they did in support of Ukraine, which we can't really talk about.
They were doing that
on
again
YouTube
today. Actually.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking that, because I put a comment up on the screen that said a few hundred protesters are marching from Times Square to Union Square in an effort to garner more U.S. support for the war in Ukraine. They're also asking for the international community to declare Russia a terrorist state.
I saw that.
We can't talk too much about that on here, but yeah, and you should see Ricky Rant's stream from last Saturday where he went to a protest where they all had their very nice, neat Nazi flags that still had the fold marks in them. Like, they were nice and new. It was interesting. They all had new flags.
Well, you stop off at the Virtue Signals shop and pick up your stuff. Get your swag before you go to your protest.
I have a theory.
Go to your marches.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll find out one day. But I have a theory that that they have. See, look, now I'm finally just now seeing that Noli is. I'm still 45 minutes behind you guys. I have a theory that they have like a virtue signal warehouse down in DC somewhere that, you know, as the new thing comes out, because man, do they get coordinated really fast? Where did everybody go get their little Ukraine flags and their little Ukraine pins when they had the State of the Union thing?
And they have the best swag made in China.
They
It's
just, I know.
amazing.
Like,
It
where
is
else do you
amazing.
get your little, you know, made in China Ukraine flags, or your made in China U.S. flags? You know,
Well, I'm sure that they have, you know, merch tables, you know, floating all over the place. Either selling the shit or handing it out. Probably a mixture of both.
Yeah.
And those protests are organized by somebody, and they're getting funding from somebody.
Yeah, there was definitely a bunch of
yeah,
money.
we have to be careful when we go in there. But I heard there was some like, you know, so.
Well, I wasn't naming names because it's more than just one group or one person.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, all sides
Yep.
are infiltrated by somebody.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of like a lot of a lot of movements, like social movements, they're all fucking social engineered.
Yeah. Completely co-opted. Most of them. The good ones are anyway.
Well, I remember when Black Lives Matter was first created, and it was in response to that one woman shooting in Texas, where she was like handcuffed behind her back, and they said that she got a gun and shot herself in the back of the head while she was handcuffed in the back of the car. I can't remember what her name was. But like that started out as a grassroots movement, and I was totally in support of it. And then it got co-opted pretty early on, and I was just like, yeah, Black Lives Matter is bullshit. But you can't even say that to a lot of people, because then they're like, oh, you're racist. And it's like, no, I was in support of it when it first started. You know? Now it's
Baba
like
Yaga
a corporate movement.
said the Illuminati control more of the music nowadays. I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but they definitely have their claws in it.
Oh
yeah,
you're completely right.
Yeah, they've been doing it for so long. It's just like second nature to them. You know, it's like
Every iPod commercial it's ever been.
What?
Every single iPod commercial.
Come over here and actually talking to Mike.
Every iPod commercial, every single iPhone commercial, every headphone company, all of those beats, Dr. Dre, all of this, you know what I mean? There's like this like homogenation of all the things that like the big companies own, Columbia and Sony and BMI and all of these different companies can mix up the sound files any way that they fucking want. You know what I mean? So they come up with these weird little jingles and things, like hybrid edits of popular songs and stuff, or make a song popular that's not even popular.
Well, they can also do stuff like, you know, the artist records their music not thinking anything, and then on the back end it's edited for certain tones and stuff.
Yeah.
And put it in the back end, and it's that solo music, but it's there, so that creates a whole another level to what the music industry does. I'm a firm believer that they do this.
Oh yeah, no, I know they definitely.
Have you ever had a song like get stuck in your head even though you fucking hate it?
Of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, they know certain tones. Like they that's the thing. Like what we were talking about before, like the research that you and I started to do the other day, Shelly, when we were talking, like when we were looking into the college and how like they're they're looking into like consumerism and how we
Yeah,
consume
oh,
things
yeah.
and how to influence us and this and that. They have that all down.
Yeah,
They have that
dialed in.
indoctrinate, like they have that in like, and where people probably think like the people that are doing the research probably have some of them good intentions, some of them not so good intentions, but it's what people do with the
But those
information that they
algorithms
have
are big.
once they hang on once they learn what it is. That's where it can go terribly wrong. They know exactly what tones will do what to us. They know exactly what kind of beat will get us to move, what will get us to slow down. Like it's like psychology itself is a very dangerous thing.
They've
Yeah,
fucked
they
with
have,
psychology and music.
Yeah, they have like economic sociology and stuff, and they have like economic labs, like scientific labs for researching science for consumerism. Basically, they have some crazy shit there.
Yeah,
But
they do.
they're another one of those CIA research universities too. Like they were big with the MK Ultra stuff.
Yeah, that idea of like psychology and music being manipulated and manipulating the people with it, you know, they made everybody change their natural intonation of, you know, 432 to 440, you know, and everybody switched and everybody agreed that's now A after hundreds and hundreds, you know, fucking millennia. Okay, now this note that's a few semitones different. But now if you mix that note and these other notes in a certain combination, it does a certain other thing. And it all like musical information messes with your neurotransmitters in some way. Sometimes it mellows you out, sometimes it makes you hyper. There's lots of different things you can be tweaked by sound. Right.
And this is what the not exclusively, but this is what neurosciences study too.
Yeah.
And they know that, you know, our brains all have their own unique frequency stamp.
Yep.
And you can actually tune into an individual's brain frequency and screw that.
Yeah, you can tune into it. You can be a bystander in it. Like I believe that they actually have the technology to do that, to like figure out what your frequency is, Kenneth, and fucking tune in and listen. You know what I mean? That's the next step of surveillance, is right there. Knowing your thoughts before you fucking have them.
Yeah, they're
pre-crime. They're already doing pre-crime shit.
Yeah.
Like they're predicting when there's gonna be a crime somewhere. It's like
they've been using that predictive crime thing for fucking a while now. You know what I mean? So like if they have that with that, you know, the advances in the Neuralink thing and stuff that fucking Elon and them are doing, it's about to get really crazy.
That was weird. Did you guys buffer over there?
I don't know. Did you see a buffering?
My end froze for like a split second.
Well, you know.
I thought I got kicked off.
Oh no!
Whoops. I should back up on talking about the whole MK.
Ixnay on the Neuralink, nay.
Yeah, right.
I know. It's crazy.
I gotta bring up that story that I sent you earlier about Elon Musk having a secret child with twins, secretly having twins with a Neuralink executive.
Yeah, I have a
how fucking
theory.
Perfect is that?
I have a theory on all of that. Like I really
all his kids were like in vitro and stuff after his first child.
Yeah, he wants
like
to
he's got a bunch of twins and shit.
Yeah, he wants to populate. Like he was saying something the other day on his Twitter. I'd have to look it up to be exactly for sure, like word for word. But I'm just gonna, he was like, I hope people are able to have babies and everyone has big families or some shit like that. Like I'm like what is happening? Like it's just a weird.
Well,
It's weird.
It's because he just secretly had another child with someone.
Well, I mean, how many
news was
kids
from
do you
2
think that
days
they're
ago.
having? You know what I mean? Like these motherfuckers could be having as many kids as they want.
Well,
They're
how long ago was that tweet? Because that news article I sent you was from 2 days ago.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that's why he tweeted that.
That's where that probably comes from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And then Amber Heard's kid is his.
Weird.
And then he's got 5 kids with his first wife.
He's just making mad babies. Once he runs out of women, he's just gonna CRISPR them. He just
he's got 2 brimes, and the second one was with a surrogate. They're all freaking.
I mean, realistically, if you were as rich as Elon Musk, do you think you would listen to any sort of person telling you that you had to do something or not do something?
Maybe they're Epstein. Maybe they used the Epstein science. Maybe they used the Epstein science to.
Careful.
Maybe.
We were saying that is too many keywords.
Well, I'm just trying to figure it out. I just want to understand.
Keywords. Yeah. He's not buying Twitter anymore.
I think all of his kids are designer babies. I don't even think they're really.
Like they might be like the cows that we talked about, the crispy.
I honestly think they're I honestly think they might be clones of him. Or something.
Well, I mean,
you think he would try to upgrade a little bit, but yay. No Lee. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, maybe they're clones, but with enhanced genes for certain aspects. Like maybe personality.
Do we know if any of those CRISPR cows were CRISPR clowns? CRISPR clowns, that's an entirely different episode.
From outer space.
Do we know if any
do not take us cows, seriously.
Do you know if any of the CRISPR cows had spent any time near the Georgia Guidestones, and could they be responsible for their explosion?
We're just gonna say every conspiracy theory.
Not like unlike the bison.
Why is he all keyed up? He just look at
hey, you never know. Well, that land was part of a farm. It was part of a ranch, I think.
Well, yeah.
And part of it
Granite Farmers Ranch. They farm
it's right next to a fucking ranch. Maybe it was the CRISPR cows.
They farm granite.
What do you think?
Goddamn stony cows, man. They was radioactive, I tell you.
It's those CRISPR farts.
CRISPR farts, man. They're radioactive.
Everett does not look amused. He's like, no.
It's electric.
Granite is naturally very radioactive material. Those types of.
Steve, did you see him on the screen?
What are you doing, Karen? What are you doing? Why are you so keyed up, Kitty? You're running around biting people?
Kitty.
Elsa,
hi, kitty.
No, he had his look. He drew blood.
Oh.
He's trying to get my DNA. No, he didn't it was
trying to make a CRISPR lucky.
He wasn't biting me. It was his nails. He just got freaked out and pushed off of me, and one of his nails got me. I trim his nails. Oh my goodness! All right, where am I? And Truth Stream Media said it was the Hindu Swahili.
Yeah, I was wrong on that one.
Yeah,
my bad. But I was reading the stone wrong because the flagstone is right in front of you, so you're looking at the guide stones while you're reading the stone. But I guess it's like you got to actually read it the other way.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just printed the other way. I've never been there. Maybe I just got it wrong.
Yeah, I haven't
But-
been there. I don't know if they ever arrested him. It's really weird. If you guys haven't seen what happened with the Georgia Guidestones, you should check out. We did a stream on it where we covered it, and also True Story Media. They are awesome, and they did one.
Yeah, they just updated, did an update on it, and they have the original video, which is great.
Yep.
It's weird because
They're
it has
funny as
so
hell.
many. It has so many cameras on it.
Yeah.
Like there is so many
You
cameras
know,
on
okay,
stones, and then like they get blown up and they show a one weird angle of it really quick, and that's it. It's like,
I
wait
keep
a
on-
minute here.
I keep on
And then-
hearing the argument that there's nobody on the camera putting the explosives there, so what happened to it? And I'm like, we saw like not even 2-second clips of it. And
Well,
only two of them. We don't
Susie
know
was
what-
saying that it was something else, that it was lightning or something.
But what I'm saying is, like, anybody could have put anything there and just cut it out and be like, we don't know what happened.
The video was like that when we got here.
I know, right? Like we have 4 camera angles, but like, you know,
That are running 24/7. Those were the only pieces that you could show us.
did they bury a crystal under there?
I'm telling you, it's something that powers CERN into an interdimensional portal.
Damn marmots. I think that's who
Fucking
tried to get
marmots.
under I think that's who tried to dig it up. I think the marmots did it.
Ah, shit. That's
We're gonna
what it
need
is.
more marmots, I think. If we're really gonna get to the bottom of this.
So do you what do you guys think about the Georgia
Excellent
Guidestones? Do you think that
diggers.
they're gonna replace them? Do you
Maybe
think
a
that they're
couple
gonna
badgers.
just, you know, take them away and then just have nothing there in this weird oh my god, cat. He wants to sit on my lap.
He's like, "Hi, how you doing?" I'm a cat.
Why aren't you there we go. He keeps jumping to sit on my lap.
Yeah.
He likes to sit with his butt on my lap and with his paws on the table. Like it's like he's a little human. It's really funny. Oh my
They're
gosh.
gonna
I
hope
am
people
so
stop
far behind
stop
on
talking
you
about
guys.
them and memory hole that shit.
Yeah, they will.
That's what they do.
Well, I think that certain events had to happen and I don't know. There's just way
I
too
hope-
much that I don't know about it. Don't bite my necklace.
I hope that is what's happening, Jilly, is that they create wormholes to hopefully higher dimensions where people are more together and
That would be nice.
maybe not so genocidal. That would be, you know,
Stop it.
I'm okay with that.
That's
Even
not
even
what-
if half the people have
Steve-
to be like CRISPR people or whatever, it's fine. Just,
Steve,
you know, give me
The cat-
something better.
the cat will not stop biting at my amber necklace.
Oh yeah,
He just grabs it and holds it in his mouth. Like he's not. I don't know what his problem
he
is.
likes
My amber.
the juju. It gives him the
Aram said, "I'm not even picky with ghosts."
it gives the kitty woo woos, the woo woos.
Elle said, "I support all consensual unions."
All consensual what?
I did not unions. I did
Unions.
not eat the marmot tail. No.
Fair.
Did you eat a marmot tail? Oh, we love you, Noli. If you're still here, I hope you're still here. We love you.
That's true, Aram. Aram said put that guidestone camera in Ghislaine Maxwell's cell. Isn't it amazing that cameras in the middle of fucking nowhere work, yet prisons holding high profile people never seem to work? Yeah, there's a little bit of that in play too. Like if you only get like 5 seconds of video,
Yeah, it's like wait.
it's
you
like,
have-
oh, all of a sudden, then boom, they were gone, and something blew up. One
it
of
was
them.
biblical.
It was biblical, like God's finger came down
And
from
why
the
did
sky and blew
Why
it
did
up.
they go and just like remove the evidence of everything?
That
Could
could
have
very
just
well.
like they're just like, yeah, we're
Why
just
is,
gonna.
why is that always the go-to move?
It just doesn't feel like it was some random weirdo just be like, oh my god, these globalists, I gotta blow it up.
Yeah,
Like it just doesn't feel like that.
right.
Well,
It's
think
like
of-
some-
okay, I have a
some
theory though.
dude
So there's the lady, right, that is running for office,
Yeah.
and she's running based upon those being taken down.
Yeah, because they gotta go.
So
But the thing is,
what is,
why
but,
blow them up?
wait. Let me finish my theory here. What about the person that she's running against? Who is she running against? Because if they take those down, she's not running against anybody for that anymore. That was her campaign. That was her big thing. She did her commercials on it. So like it kind of defeats the whole purpose of what she's doing.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying the other night. Like people are like, "Oh my god, this lady must be the one that did it because that's her whole platform." And I'm like, why would you do that before the election? Because like that's how you're supposed to be able to get into office is on that.
Right.
Like, why would she do that?
I think it's just as likely that it was a direct energy weapon and just blew it up.
Yeah.
Literal Beyond House said wear socks with making love for a quick getaway. Subscribe for more life hacks. Oh my god, you guys. Oh, I just freaking love this. I love our cult or our family, our tribe, whatever label or whatever thing you want to use to call us. We're Baritonians. And that's what Rick Overton named us. So like maybe is he our cult leader? Is Rick Overton our cult leader?
He's definitely a deity.
Maybe.
He's a deity in the religion.
Whatever he
is. Whatever he is.
He's a demagogue, okay?
Human, reptilian, whatever he is.
Whatever DNA he's sporting.
I just love Rick Overton.
If he's a CRISPR, we're not going to judge. We're beyond that.
Drew said, I wear shoes.
Beyond that in this.
What you got to say about that? Socks with sandals in bed? No, that's really
no.
That's pushing it. That's not
sacrilegious.
That's not respectful.
Nah.
I like to run around barefoot. I'm currently barefoot.
I'm currently barefoot too, but that's just because I don't have my sandals on.
Yeah, he loves his sandals. He lives in his Keens. I'm as barefoot as possible all the time.
No shoes in bed. Exactly, El.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing like rodeo tricks or something. I don't know.
Charlie Brown said, which way do you load the toilet paper? Over or under? That is the question. Over.
Under.
Over. Always over. I don't know why.
Surely you must be.
I don't know why. And Elle said, I tried to start a mix and match sock trend. No one has ever mentioned it. Skyla went to schoolwork today with mismatched socks. One of them was like bright orange, the other one was white or black or something. I just remember like they were just completely not even remotely like matching. Always. Oh, and Noli, if you're still here, you got to check out the stream that I did. I had an incident with the cops. If you didn't see it, I know we don't always catch each other's every stream, but this one is one that you'll want to see because I directed the cops and on what to do in this incident where they tased a young man, and his mom was hysterical, and he ended up being arrested and everything. It was some crazy shit, but I directed the cops at what to do, and they actually listened to me. It's something that I thought of you like when I was dealing with the whole thing with the cops. Like I absolutely thought I'm like yeah. I was like when I was talking to my neighbors about what happened, I was like, yeah, I have friends that do a lot of police accountability stuff, and so I thought of you.
Popeye's like, what? I told my mix and match story.
What I told it?
What are you saying? Like he didn't tell his mix and match story?
Oh my gosh. And oh my gosh. And you guys, I wish I had filmed the incident that happened the other day, because it was just so crazy that happened. And I don't know.
But apparently we're terrible camera people.
Noli said, who took my fucking lighter? Noli, I don't know.
I took your fucking lighter.
I will give it back in a minute.
If I was wearing a bra, it would be like, oh, is it in the boobs? I don't have a bra.
You go in the front, down the side, underneath. You lift it up, shake it out. No layer there.
Are you sure it was a mini bic? Oh, there it is.
General Meow Meow.
Put everything into place, it falls out.
Only the status slows the toilet paper backwards. General.
That's funny. My kitty runs in and licks my toes when I'm on the toilet. Jilly said.
Your cat?
Her kitty does. Runs in and licks her toes when she's on the toilet.
Oh my gosh, Leo's obsessed with like nibbling our toes or biting our toes. If he gets really excited, he'll like come over and just start like nibbling on your toes. Like, what are you doing to me?
It's cute.
It's like I had one green sock and one red sock at the locker room. The guy says, "You have one green?" And I said, "Yeah, I have a pair just like them at home."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't always.
Kitty cats are great. They're very loving sometimes. Sometimes they're just not so much, but they're still great. They're fucking cool. Weird little creature.
The Viking Odin is a personal friend of mine, and
we're sharing his.
He's dog sitting for his mother, like a couple weeks or something, and so he's at his mother's house, and he's away from his cats.
Aww.
Yeah, he just said that. I can find it. He said he saw his cat for the first time in a week.
Oh.
And she climbed into my arms for 30 minutes straight and didn't let me place her down. Dug into my arms with the calls as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder Odin, just blended right in. Like, with
Right.
God, you're part of the cult already. Hello.
Nice assimilation. Way to assimilate.
Yes.
Yeah, he spent the night at my apartment not long after I moved in, and Guinness loves him so much that she slept with him the whole night.
Nice.
Aww.
Yeah,
That's
she came to bed with me for like not even 5 minutes, and then as soon as I started getting comfortable, she's out there with him, out in the living room sleeping with him, all snuggled up.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And when I saw her, when I saw the picture of her like laying out in the grass with her little feet sticking out in the back flat, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love when dogs do that. It's so cute when they lay flat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so trying to see if I can catch up on your chat. I'm trying.
Are we wrapping this up or what?
We are gonna wrap up. I'm trying to see what if there's anything else in the chat that we needed to talk about.
What you talking about?
What are you talking about, Willis?
What you The only opinion that matters is the voices inside your head. What? Wait.
Yep.
Shh. Don't tell them
That's
about
what they
them.
tell me.
You can't listen to them all the time. Sometimes, though, they know better than I do. What? Who are you talking to, Steve? I don't know.
Oh, L's all caps. Uh-oh.
That's funny. Sirius is like, fuck human roommates. Cats are the best. Cats don't pay rent. That's the biggest drawback. If you could get your cat that has a good job, to maybe move in.
Oh yeah. Speaking of,
maybe
you
they're
guys,
just independently wealthy.
if you feel like you want to give us a tip and help us continue to do these streams and help us keep the lights on, it's appreciated. We don't like to ask.
We are not independently wealthy cats.
We aren't. But in the
Or
description
kittens.
of the stream,
It would be nice.
Yeah.
You know, that would
I mean,
be
hey, you know.
that would be super. But probably not going to happen because we like to point out the truth about things, and fucking people hate that shit. So
Yeah.
if you like that shit, you know, by all means. But
Little.
yes. Yes, we all should raid my stream because it's going to start soon. I just know it. Says so on the thing.
Does it? Do we have a link to it? Can we find it?
There are links to it.
Does somebody know the link to the next stream that we're all going to go to?
Does anybody have that?
Aren't you guys running it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
has a link already been established? I don't.
Of course there is, but I'm just trying to still catch up, you know.
You're just shirking your responsibility to getting the link.
I'm trying to see.
All right, I'll try to send you the link. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how.
Yes, Jilly, Rice Crisper treats. Yes, that's what we're going to call it.
Rice Crispers.
No suspects is what Elle said.
I like to point out the thumbnails. The thumbnail for the Steve Leave It to Steve or Saturday Blazer face up. Leo was not harmed, nor did he have to smoke the entire joint. I just want to point that out right now. So for all you animal activist types.
Elle said, "Eat the marmots." Elle, that's not
can't
very
do this.
like vegan, vegetarian of you. Are these marmots non-animal marmot?
Are
I don't
these
know. I heard
marmots
that squirrel
fresh?
tastes really good. I hear, squirrel tastes good, rabbit tastes good, stuff like that. Maybe marmots taste good. Who knows?
I mean, it's certainly possible.
I mean, guinea
it-
pigs are eaten in Peru.
It's possible for sure.
They're native there.
Let me see. If I do this,
They're everywhere. Squirrels are everywhere.
I can do it. This
Marmots
way.
too?
I'm not-
Do we have marmots?
What? Are we eating marmots now?
I don't think so.
Well, all right. I am entirely too close to the microphone talking.
I don't know what I solved,
Like,
but I solved something.
I just heard myself in the speakers going. Cool. So there's the link to my stream if you guys want to crash it. Is that rate it? I'm sorry. Try to get the vernacular correct.
Jenna Colby,
I'm not hip to the nomenclature.
you are just in time.
You're just in time. We're leaving.
We are going over to Steve's stream. Did you put it in the chat?
I did. I did. I'll do it again.
Jilly did too.
Jilly did too, because Jilly's awesome like that. And I'm going to do it again. So there.
Ugh.
But I did it as you, so it looks like you did it.
Charlie Brown said, "Well, I never knew beaver tasted so damn delicious."
Well,
Remember what beaver you're talking about there? I've had
I don't know, Wally.
I haven't. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Come on.
I haven't. Well, I mean,
You guys are too young. That was a Leave It to Beaver reference. I was like, I don't know, Wally. Never mind.
everybody should follow us over to Steve Cutler Live.
That's right. Unless you want to be perceived as an Eddie Haskell type.
Because we're late over there. We're late for his stream.
Fucking A.
Hey. All right. Okay, don't rush me here. Don't rush me here. Oh God. He's standing here. He's ready. He's ready to go. So
Is he
come
like
on
just
over.
standing there hovering over you?
Yeah, like you see the shadow?
No.
Yeah, I see the shadow.
See what I mean? The green screen, you couldn't even see that he was like right there over me. Oh my God. All right. We love you all. We hope that we will see all of you over at Steve Cutler Live. And and will be on tomorrow, where Elle is going to be on as my co-host, and we're going to have a special guest with us too. I have 2 special guests.
Ooh.
As well. Or as, yeah. Okay. I love you all. Come over to Steve Cutler Live and you will see him on the screen with the guitar in just a minute. But first I gotta do the thing. I gotta do the thing.
Bye-bye.
You know? Bye, fam. We love you.
Hydrophil cuts through my neighborhood. Somehow that always just made me feel good. And I can put a spare bulb in my hand, light up my yard. Late at night when the wires in the walls sing in tune with the din of the falls. I'm conducting it all while I sleep to light this whole town.